North Carolina, and the winner is Marquise Williams. Liberty's DJ Abner steps up in place of injured running back Desmond Rice. Up to now, we've had more questions than answers. Let's get some answers as Liberty comes to North Carolina next on ESPN3. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Welcome to Kenan Stadium, everybody, on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, where the 23rd ranked Tar Heels will host Liberty, a first ever meeting between these two programs. Hi, everybody. Ryan Rose and Forrest Connolly will take you through this ball game today. But first, we've got a playoff. 2014 has a playoff for us. Who's going to make it and how are they going to get there?
Well, the big question is who's in. And right now, everybody's in. Every team is excited about it. You got to see what happens this weekend. Who'll stay in is the big question.
All right, and that means starting off with the first ball game, Liberty and North Carolina. North Carolina they've been playing with us this preseason. Larry Fedora didn't name a starting quarterback until today. It was between Marquise Williams and Mitch Trubisky. We expect to see both guys. Why did Williams win the job?
Well, Williams led the team in rushing last season. He throws the ball very well, and they've seen him in the games. That's why you pick Williams. Like you said, we will see Trubisky some this ball game, but Williams is the guy you have to start with.
On the Liberty side of things, they're missing their leading rusher from last year. Desmond Rice hurt his knee in the spring, so DJ Abner will be thrust into the spotlight. What has he got to concern himself with today?
Well, DJ Abner is a speedy back. I look for them to get him the ball in space, but his biggest concern is pass protection, taking care of Woodrum when they throw the football. He has to be solid in his pass protection, and being a smaller guy, that's a big question.
Liberty's head coach Turner Gill will run a bunch of different offenses, and that's going to give Abner all kinds of headaches in the ball game, keeping up with everything going on. Liberty and North Carolina, the first time these two teams have ever met, and we'll have the kickoff in just a moment. Oh, we caught a break with the weather here from Chapel Hill. Not nearly as warm as it usually is in August. 88 degrees. You see the temp of the humidity right there. 57% humidity. Not nearly as bad as it could or usually is here, but they haven't played a lot of night games up here in recent memory, so that's actually going to help those fans right there keep cool throughout the evening, which will keep them raucous. A good group of blue and a small good group of red on the far side as North Carolina and Liberty about to play football against one another for the first time. We talked with both coaching staffs this week. They each have their concerns, as you would think in week one. Obviously, you can't really scout a team week one. You think you know what they're going to do, but with different personnel, who knows?
Well, each team has an idea of what the other team wants to do. I think right now what you'll see early in this ball game is both teams kind of filling each other out, trying to decide what works best, what doesn't work best, and, you know, trying to establish an offensive game as well as a defensive game. So I look early in this ball game, and although the weather's not hot, I think it will be some attrition issues for Liberty because they're a smaller ball club as compared to this North Carolina ball club.
We have seen, if you're a football junkie like you and I are, we were watching games Wednesday, Thursday, this morning at 8:30 a.m. We've seen there's a lot of early season cramping. We'll see if it's an issue. Depth, obviously, in the first game, you want to try to get as many guys in as you can. And they are teeing it up, getting set. We'll keep an eye on that amongst the other things that we talked about in the open.
Well, game shape is a big issue. You can practice all preseason, but you can't simulate a game.
Kickoff specialist Nick Weiler tees it up. Ball's in the air. And the 2014 season for these two teams is underway, and the first kickoff goes through the uprights. So no return on the first kick of the season for these two, and that means we'll get a chance to see the Liberty offense as North Carolina won that toss and deferred. That's Josh Woodrum. He wears number 6, and they do a lot of things offensively. Here's what he did last year: over 2,500 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions. Very smart guy, and North Carolina's going to throw the kitchen sink at him, but we'll see how he responds to it. The single back is Abner. First pass complete, out to the side. Darren Peterson makes the catch, 6-yard gain. And we'll take a look at our impact players while Liberty has the ball. Forrest has spotlighted them for you. Why are we watching these guys?
Well, Josh Woodrum, he accounted for over 2,700 yards last year. He has to build on his accuracy. He has command of the offense. They want to see him put the ball on the receiver's numbers. Abner, we talked about him in the open. He's replacing Rice. He has to get to the outside, use his speed. Farmer, he set out early because he did not know if he was going to play with uncertainty with his academics. He has to play big for this defense in the middle.
They give it to Abner on 2nd down. Tries to bounce outside, but an arm tackle gets him down after a loss of 1. And Shaquille Rashad, the arm tackler from the Bandit spot. It'll be 3rd and medium to long here. We'll call it 5. There's Turner Gill, 3rd season at the helm of Liberty. Well-storied career at Buffalo, did really well in the MAC. And then at Kansas, a shorter stay than maybe a lot of people thought. Here are his game goals, and we'll revisit that in a second. We've got ourselves a big 3rd and 5 play early in this game. Woodrum sends Abner in motion. They'll take a survey. The catch is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Peterson. And the Carolina defense will elicit a punt from Liberty on its first possession. Back to the game goals for us when we talked to Coach Gill earlier.
Well, he wants to minimize the explosive plays. He doesn't want Carolina to have runs of over 15 yards and passes of over 20 yards, and he wants to establish a running game. What that will do will open up the offense for Woodrum to throw the ball down the field.
There's Ryan Switzer, tied the NCAA record with 5 punt returns for touchdown last season. North Carolina scored 8 touchdowns, not by the offense. 5 by that man. Switzer, and he gets it at about the 23. Slips a tackle. He's so dangerous all the way up to the 39-yard line. The kick was 47 yards. The return was 16, weaseling his way through traffic on pretty good hang time. And now we'll get to see Marquise Williams, the leading rusher and passer of the team last year, that's returning. He leads by managing the game, throws with his legs. There's his number. There are his numbers from last season. 58%. They'd like that to be a little more. 15 touchdowns. And we talked about the over 500 yards rushing last year for the big fella. And a little pass out in the left flat. Good way to get him comfortable early. And we take a look at our impact players for this game as Jack Tabb makes that catch, and these are the guys we're looking at today for us.
Well, Quinshad Davis, he's a big receiver, 10 touchdowns last season. He has to use his size at 6'4" against the smaller defensive backs. TJ Logan, he does a great job protecting the quarterbacks in pass pro. I look for him to make plays as well on special teams.
Another pass out to the left side. That's going to get a first down for the Tar Heels. That was Switzer making the catch. And they are going to try to get the ball in his hands, as dynamic as he is. There's Larry Fedora, 3rd season as the head coach of North Carolina. He told us his game goals earlier this week.
He wants to create explosive plays, get his playmakers the ball. Davis, Hood, Logan, Switzer, and he wants those guys to execute plays because he's got a lot of young players playing in their first ball game today.
Well, swing route to Switzer, and he'll be very close to a first down. About 9 or 10 yards, and that will push the ball over the Liberty 40-yard line.
And this is what you want to do. Get Switzer on the move, get him the ball. He's a one-cut guy. He gets the ball, he gets north and south very quickly, and he can make plays.
Williams going to lob it down there, and it's caught for yet another first down. And nearly hung his receiver out to dry, but Quinshad Davis did come down with it, a gain of 14.
And there's that big body showing himself early in the ball game.
Provides a big target. Only Hakeem Nicks had more catches in his first 2 years than Davis did. Now they put it on the ground. This TJ Logan around the left side, down inside the 20, down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, an 11-yard run, and they're in the red zone.
And what North Carolina is doing is they're spreading Liberty out. They're going 4 wides, and they're leaving edges for Logan to get around.
Here's what he did last season, just a hair behind Marquise Williams' rushing total. And they're going to run. They've got a 4-headed monster at the running back position here in Chapel Hill. Switzer still has it. A little stutter step, but he couldn't get free of the free safety Jacob Hagan coming up to make the stop, a 4-yard run.
But if you watch that play, Bug Howard came down on a crack block. I look for Bug to make a step inside, a double move later on in this ball game if the Liberty defenders continue to go inside with him.
Second and about 6 from the 10. Logan. He'll get a couple.
Logan on the carry, tackle by number 92 Nolan Spicer.
92 Nolan Spicer on the tackle. He had a couple last year.
And as an offensive lineman, this is the part of the field that you love to be in. This is where you earn your money.
Third and a couple, but in the red zone, North Carolina expecting to score. By the way, North Carolina last year did not turn the ball over in the red zone. That's quite an astounding feat. They missed 3 field goals and lost twice on downs. This one caught in the back of the end zone, and the first touchdown of the ball game. Bug Howard wrangles it in, a 7-yard score. That was on the money.
Well, you see the receivers getting open early in this ball game. If Liberty's going to sit back in that zone defense, these guys are going to find holes in that zone and make plays.
Howard had 4 touchdown catches last year as a freshman. Now a sophomore gets the first one of the year for North Carolina. Thomas Moore pokes through the extra point. He only missed 2 out of 48 of those last year. Tar Heels strike first on its first possession on a catch by Bug Howard, and they have a touchdown edge.
That's that double move I was talking about. They bite because they're looking inside on their zone defense.
It took 8 plays and 61 yards, and North Carolina on its first possession of the season gets a touchdown against Liberty, and Forrest wants to talk more about this.
Well, when you look at the receivers, they spread them out. They get one-on-one coverage on the outsides. And once again, that's that double move that I talked about early in the ball game. Bug Howard, he came down on the crack block early in this series. You know the defensive backs are going to look for that. They looked for it. He got to the inside, and Williams did a great job of putting the football where only he could make a play on it.
Right on the money. By the way, Williams was 5 for 5 on that drive for 43 yards. So off to a rousing start. And Liberty will get its second crack at possession. And they're not going to bring it out. So they'll spot that football back down and give Liberty its second possession. Woodrum just 1 for 2. One of the balls was dropped on his opening drive. There's Coach Gill, an offensive juggernaut he put together in Lynchburg, Virginia, racking up 37 points per game last year and 420 yards per game. First 2 years, shared the Big South Conference Championship, but couldn't crack into the FCS tournament, which expanded by 4 teams last year. They've been doing the playoff already. First down, left side, Abner. Ooh, he's crushed after a 2-yard gain. And he is chatting back at the bandit Norkeithus Otis, who stopped him after a 4-yard run.
But this is good for Liberty. You've got to keep Otis honest. You make him play the run. This will open up lanes for Woodrum to get the ball down the field. Eventually, I look for Liberty to spread them out, see if these young defensive backs can hold up.
Yeah, what we haven't mentioned is we've had several of the cornerback defensive secondary units suspended for the game, and we'll tell you more about that a little bit later, but that is a concern. That happened, I believe, on Wednesday. Now from the I formation, give Woodrum some time. He's got a man. The ball was slightly underthrown. He had some distance. That gave Tim Scott some time to recover.
And what you see right here, the offensive line gave him great time. He should have put a little bit more on the football. He put too much air under it. Tim Scott was beat on this play, but he had time to recover. And if you recall, Tim Scott was a cornerback. He played safety in the bowl game last season, switched to safety with the reach of suspensions. He moved back to cornerback. So he has to get readjusted to covering receivers on the outside.
He played safety in all of spring camp and fall camp. Just this week, he moved back to corner. That was Darren Peterson, the leading receiver in 2013 for the Flames, who had to wait for that football. There's a pass completion and Liberty's first down of the game as they hit Gabe Henderson, the slot receiver, for a gain of 9.
And the thing about Henderson, he's a former quarterback, so he knows how to read defenses. He knows how to put his body in a place to get the football.
So Liberty moving the change for the first time today. Quick pass to the left side. It's Dante Shells, who was hit quickly by the Ram, Malik Simmons. A gain of 6. And I thought, like Marquise Williams started out with a couple of easy passes off to the side. I thought they might do that with Woodrum, let him start that rhythm thing that coaches are always concerned about with their quarterbacks.
Well, you see it starting to happen right now, and once again, it's making this defense honest. That's what you have to do against a 4-2-5 defense. There are a lot of athletes on the field.
Up the middle, slips 2 tackles, and moves the chains again. A nice run by Abner. He is a little undersized at 5'8", but he's got to use that bulk to try to get rid of, shed some tacklers.
But what you see right here is a surge by the offensive line. They got beat in the middle. Devontae Brown made a good play, but he could not make a tackle. And what you saw is that quickness by Abner to get to the outside in the middle and get up the field. These are key things that he has to do. That's a big run, and this is a big first down for Liberty.
First time the Flames have played a ranked FBS opponent and trying to get an upset here. An answer score would be good for Liberty. Wide open on the left side. Spinning out of 1 tackle, it's Peterson. He fumbles the football, and Carolina falls on it. Dominique Green fell on the loose ball as Peterson put it on the carpet.
And you saw Tim Scott make a play that you see safeties make. He batted at the football. This is a great play by Scott. The receivers going down the field, and this is what you see often. Receivers get down the field. Watch Scott. He bats at the football. Great play and great recovery by Carolina. Once again, Woodrum has all the time in the world to throw the football. He finds his receiver in the seam, but Tim Scott makes a great play.
He's a veteran. He's going to make a play like that.
And those are those safety skills.
Liberty was plus 15 in turnover margin last year. They rarely let go of the football. And that's a costly one because it cost them basically a score. And Williams is going to go for everything, looking for Switzer. It's intercepted. Liberty takes it right back on the interception by Kenny Scott, the boundary corner.
And Williams put too much air under this football. Switzer was open briefly, but he allowed the defensive back to recover. That you've got to get the ball down the field. Don't put too much air under the football.
The note I have on Scott that the coaches told me, he covers a lot of ground. He covered a lot of ground there, and Liberty gets it back in midfield. The Flames had 19 interceptions by its defense last season. The first one of the year by Kenny Scott, number 14 right there. He had 3 of those picks last year. And each team with a turnover on consecutive plays. And so Liberty gets it back at midfield. Down a touchdown early on. Woodrum out to the left side. This was also caught, and this offense is starting. It feels like they're starting to get some confidence there. An 8-yard gain on the catch out on the right side by number 17 for Liberty, Kendall Kuhlman, the backup tight end.
And the thing about Kuhlman, he is a fast tight end. He ran a 10,900 meters in high school. Very swift for a big guy. So if they continue to get him the football and he gets some open space, he may get to the end zone.
And they list him as a tight end, but you see he's lined up in the backfield. They'll throw all kinds of formations out there. And now he's in motion. Abner sticks his head in there, tries to get the first down. He's very close, close to the 40-yard line.
Early on, I've been impressed with Abner's ability to get these tough yards on second and third and short. That shows a lot of fortitude for the little guy. And that also shows that they're coming to play a ball game and they're not just going to use him on the outside.
Abner checks out briefly and then put another wide receiver there. And now Todd Macon, freshman, is lined up in the backfield behind Woodrum. And a toss to him. He's got some room. He'll get about 6 yards across the 35-yard line for the redshirt freshman. They were very impressed with Macon so far as a good number 2 back to Abner. A little bit bigger at 6 feet 220. You see he offers a good change of pace to Abner.
But he's a power back. He's a downhill back. You saw him plant that foot and get north and south very quickly and get positive yards. And that's what you're seeing out of this Liberty offense. They're getting positive yards every play. And you like that. If you're Coach Gill, you want to continue to focus on what you do well. That's something he talked to us about. Doing what they do and not worrying about what North Carolina's trying to do.
Liberty had to call timeout. They couldn't get the play in. And so Coach Gill and his offense will take some time to think about it. By the way, the last tackle was Jeff Schottmer. We haven't talked about him yet, number 10. This linebacking core is pretty impressive when you look at the numbers. And considering all the guys that North Carolina has had drafted in the past few years, the fact that they're able to reload from within the ranks is pretty impressive.
Well, they've got big backers. They flow to the ball very well. They come downhill and they make contact when they get to where they're trying to get to. And that's what I like about it. I think if you're Liberty, you have to use their speed against them. You have to use some misdirection plays. You have to make them cover. Make them, be active. Don't allow them to do what they want to do. Make them dictate to them what you want them to do. And once again, that's what Coach Gill talked about. Dictating the game.
All right, following the timeout, 2nd down 5 for the Flames. You hardly see the I formation anymore. Two-yard gain, 3-yard gain there from Macon. Gaining positive yardage. I can't remember the last time they lost yards on a play. I don't remember really any negative plays. Well, we did tease the defensive secondary missing some guys, and with more on that, let's introduce the third member of our broadcast crew, Angela Mallon. Angela.
Well, Ryan, of the 4 defensive players that were suspended, 2 of those were starters at cornerback. Now, I had a chance to talk to Vic Coing before the game, and he was concerned about the over 100 formations that Liberty shows on offense, but the Tar Heels have responded. They had a 3-and-out. They forced a turnover. So I'd say they're well on their way, and playing conservatively, like Vic Coing said, well, they're kind of outshining that.
It's true, but we've seen Forest Liberty respond by attacking those guys, and that the first drive it didn't work so well. This drive it seems to be working here on the first down catch there. Right over the middle, a big hit, but a catch and another looks like a first down as they hit Dexter Herman
And that was a great play by the Liberty offense. They went with an empty set, 5 wides. They caught Carolina sleeping, and they lost coverage on that play. That was a broken play by Carolina's defense, and it allowed Herman to get right down the middle of the field.
These are the guys that are missing today. The two highlighted in red were starters at the cornerback positions. Herman bulked up. He was 215. Now he's 240 pounds. Flags fly, and this play will not count. So that tells me it was something on the offensive side, as Liberty is in the red zone now.
I think Max Summer, the left tackle, was offsides. He reacted to the defense. I wonder if they're going to call this on the defense, because he may have reacted to the defensive lineman jumping.
Jeff Flanagan, our official.
Offside. Defense, number 8. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's Norkeithus Otis. And forced accurately the eagle eye up here in the press box. We're on level 5, and you saw that all the way from here. Impressive, sir.
Love an offensive lineman. I pay attention to the line, and you know that's a break that we get now. If a defensive lineman makes a move and we react to it, the call is on the defense.
You usually get that called against you as offensive lineman, unfairly picked on, I think.
That's why I love the new rule.
First and goal from the 5. Abner almost gets in. He's down around the 1-yard line. Give him 4 yards. That'll be second and goal for the Flames on this drive, by the way.
And you see the elusiveness by Abner on this play. He gets hit in the backfield. He spins off. He gets north and south, and he gets his head down. This is what you want to see from your backs when they're running in between the tackles.
Abner 31 yards on 3 rushes on this drive. Woodrum Woodrum is 3 for 3 on this drive. 31 yards passing. He's 7 for 9 in the game. Handoff. Flags fly on the near end zone line. And we'll see if this is offensive or defensive, but Liberty seems to think it's counting.
Offside. Defense number 8. Penalty is declined. Result for play is a touchdown.
So Liberty answers with a touchdown. Norkeithus Otis called again for being offsides. So he gave him 5 free yards from the 10 at first and goal, and then he gives him a free play on the touchdown run. So after the interception, they only had to go 50 yards. And no negative plays on that drive for the Flames. Avery Eccles for the extra point. Easy enough, and it's all tied up. And Coach Gill fire it up. A 50-yard drive, very methodical for the Flames, confusing the defense of North Carolina. They tie it up. Todd Macon had his first collegiate touchdown. The redshirt freshman punched it in from 1 yard out. Liberty moved the ball 50 yards with relative ease on 8 plays. 4:11 off the clock. They were 3 pass, 5 runs, showing the balance you just talked about before we stepped away.
And that's what I love. And they come with an onside kick early. Well, I wouldn't say an onside kick, but a pooch kick. And you have to be weary now. Now you make this Carolina special teams look for shorter kicks. You don't want to get the ball back there to Logan. You don't want to give it to Switzer, because they are playmakers with the ball in their hands, running back kickoffs and punts.
Bug Howard called for the fair catch, and so the Tar Heels will get it at the 43-yard line. And we do get our first look at Mitch Trubisky in a tie ball game. Seth Luttrell said we want to see what happens when we turn the lights on, how he'll do. First pass for him is a completion out to the left side, and it is caught by Damian Washington. 7 for him. Trubisky redshirted last year, so he's familiar with the system. And there's a completion for a first down to the right side. A flag flies as he is knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. He being Kendrick Singleton, the junior. 14 if it counts.
And what they're doing with Trubisky is they're allowing him to get the ball to athletes in space.
During the run, personal foul, hands to the face, number 6 on the defense. 15 yards to be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's Tyron Holloway, a corner.
And watch Holloway right here. He gets his hands up in the face mask of Quinshad Davis.
Yep.
You can't do that.
First down, Tar.
So free yardage for the Tar Heels. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Trubisky will hand it off. Bouncing around the right side and out of bounds is Romar Morris,
Number 21, tackle number 11, DJ James.
the junior. Part of that four-headed rushing monster that North Carolina has.
5 on play.
Well, Nick Newman got caught coming on the blitz on the inside, which gave the corner to allow him to get around and get up the field and get positive yards.
Trubisky going to keep it. They said he can run a little bit. Takes a shot at the 5, and he's out there. First and goal, and with more on the backfield scenarios, here's Angela Mallon.
Well, when I had a chance to catch up with Coach Fedora pregame, he said that Williams and Trubisky were just dead even all spring. He said there really wasn't, one wasn't really ahead of the other. And he said, my offensive line said, Coach, we don't care who's behind there calling plays as long as we're getting the job done.
And they're both getting the job done. Romar Morris again, he'll get it down inside the 5. Give him 3 yards. They're going to put the football down at about the 1.5-yard line.
And I look for them to run the football behind Landon Turner, the right guard. He's a load down there.
That's an easy touchdown for Morris. Carolina back on top.
They actually ran the ball behind the left guard. They got a surge from the left side of the offensive line, and he was able to basically walk into the end zone. Romar Morris was barely touched.
5 rushing touchdowns last season, and his first of 2014. Only 82 ticks of the clock came off on that drive. Extra point. Right down Main Street or Franklin Street, whatever you prefer. 14-7. Well, I've seen a lot of people say the defenses can be ahead of the offenses early. Not in this one.
Well, I think we expected Carolina to be able to score with all the weapons that they have. All the weapons they have returning, they can spread the field and get the ball around. But we also expected Liberty to be able to score, not as easy as they have because they have a lot of weapons, but they're a more senior-laden team. They finished strong last year, this Carolina team, with a 6-1 record. They had a big bowl win against Cincinnati. They come into this ball game with high hopes. Like I said earlier, they're in right now. They're trying to stay in. This Liberty Ball Club, they're trying to get to the FCS playoffs. This will be a huge win for this team and for that school, but this is also a huge game for this North Carolina ball squad that's missing a lot of players.
I was bragging about Liberty's offense last year, 37 points and 420 yards a game. North Carolina, similar numbers, 33 points a game and 425 yards a game. The 9th time in school history they averaged over 400 yards a game. So on paper, if you thought these two teams were anything like they were the year before, you expected them both to put up a lot of points. This is what they do best.
Well, the big question is what defense can figure it out. Carolina has a lot of big players on defense, but we talk about the suspensions. We talk about some of the guys that are key that did not practice all preseason. Ethan Farmer, he's a big key in the middle. How much in football shape is he? How will these young defensive backs continue to play? We saw early in the ball game, Alan Artis, a young defensive back, get beat. Tim Scott made a great play on the football. If he doesn't, that may have been a touchdown. Is that still in Artis' head? Will he continue to get beat? Will he let that go and play football? It's a lot to be said in this ball game.
Liberty with the ball back on the 25 for the third time. Abner finds some space. Guy's trying to shoulder tackle him, and that allows him to get across the first down line, give him 12.
Well, Coach Gill talked about his team not being scared at the moment. And you see it right here. They're coming in here to play a ball game, and they're playing it very well.
North Carolina only had 6 seniors at the start of fall camp, scholarship seniors that is, and Liberty returning a bunch of their guys from last year, multiple seniors across the starting line. So they are experienced. A bunch of these guys as youngsters played at Wake Forest their first year. A little end-around play. This time the Tar Heels snuff it out. They try to get Zach Parker on the end-around, but coming up to make the tackle was Travis Hughes, the weak side linebacker.
And I understand what they're trying to do, get their ball to playmakers in space, but I think you start the play out and then you get misdirection going to use their speed against them. I think when you have a play like this, you allow their speed to be an advantage. You have to start and then misdirect during the play. And I think that's where you get more positive yards from this Liberty offense.
Woodrum seems a little frustrated at the speed at which he gets the play calls. He's looking for the play a little sooner. Play action and over the outstretched arms or arm of Dexter Herman, the tight end, a little bit overthrown. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up. Big down here for both teams.
And that's an interesting play because he had Abner open on that play. He had Shaquille Richard trying to come from across the field to cover Abner. With Abner's speed, I think if he could have gotten the ball to him, he could have gotten big yards. And they're spreading them out again. You see 5 wides right here.
Sun is in the face of the receivers as they turn around and look for the football from Woodrum here in the first quarter. Almost sacked, and I don't think that's going to be in bounds. It wasn't. Major pressure coming from the end. Norkeithus Otis got in the backfield and forced a rush of that throw from Woodrum.
And when they go to 5 wides, if you're Carolina's defense, you have to pick your poison. You either drop back and don't have a lot of pass rushers, or you leave them in man coverage and you bring the house. And you saw Norkeithus come on that play. He got to Woodrum, didn't allow him to set his feet and get the ball to one of his receivers with one-on-one coverage.
Switzer with his hand over his mask because of the sun calls for the fair catch and makes a diving grab at the 30-yard line. Give him a 32-yard punt, no return, and the Tar Heels will start on their own 30-yard line, already up a touchdown. And we'll see who goes out to quarterback the group for this series. Williams is back out there.
This is a big series for the North Carolina offense. If they can get another score, now you put the pressure on Liberty to score the next time they get the football.
A minute 51 left in the first quarter. The last drive Carolina scored on was just a minute 22. Pass out of the backfield. And that time they got it to Chris Francis. He's the number 3 running back out of the backfield for 5 yards, and we're yet to see Elijah Hood, who we think we will see in this game as well. Williams looked like he was trying to keep it, but he got it to Francis. No gain. Francis, a sophomore, rushed it 63 times last year, had a touchdown.
Well, that was great penetration by Wesley Scott. He didn't allow him to get north and south and try and get the ball up the field. And that's what you have to do if you're Liberty's defense, get up the field.
There's Williams' day so far. The one incompletion was actually a completion, just to the wrong jersey color. Now he'll sit back and throw it. That's Switzer, and he will have a first down. A little too wide open for Liberty's liking. That little guy can find it.
Well, he's a one-cut threat. He gets the ball, he makes one cut, and he gets going. I like the way Williams sat in the pocket, although he had a rush coming on, and delivered the football.
That's his 3rd catch. They said they would use him. He's not just a punt returner. They were to get the ball to him. 3 catches, 20 yards. That leads North Carolina so far in this ball game. Final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. Williams has got this crew in blue moving the sticks. That one was a little bit high and out of bounds. Trying to find Quinshon Davis.
Well, Kenny Scott showed it a little bit too early right there, and Williams made a great read. He just needs to get the football down a little bit. If he gets the ball down and Davis is able to make a play on it, he's one-on-one on the outside on an island, and he may still be running.
2nd down, 10. Tar Heels have thrown a bunch of different formations at Liberty as well. This one caught at the 45-yard line. Bug Howard for 4 yards.
What Liberty's doing is sitting back in the zone defense. So what the Tar Heels are doing, their receivers are finding open spaces in the zone. The zone is great because it allows you to stay behind the defenders and not let them take the top off the defense, but it also leaves you open for seam routes and for little pocket routes and curl routes.
Jimmy O'Grady made the tackle. We'll talk about him in a minute. He's starting for Nick Sigmund. That's the end of the first quarter. We only have to move the ball 10 yards, flip it over on the other side of that logo at midfield. And a fun start to this one. 14-7 North Carolina. Start the second quarter, 3rd down and 6 for North Carolina. Trying to extend this drive. Williams under pressure, incomplete. Looking for Singleton, and the Tar Heels will have to punt it away. Both of these coaches are in their 3rd years at these institutions. People say that 3rd year the players really start to get it. Here is where Larry Fedora has been. He was at Southern Miss. They were 12-2 in 2012, a record 6,459 yards in 2011.
Well, he brings championship pedigree to this North Carolina program with the Conference USA Championship, and you see their team know what to do when they get the football in their hands. He's very offensive minded.
Fair catch called for and made at the 17-yard line, and that was Zach Parker, a 39-yard punt, no return. And the same things you can say about Turner Gill at Liberty. In the 3rd year now, with all the offensive systems he's trying to run, Liberty has established itself as an offensive team as well for us.
Well, Turner Gill just wins everywhere he goes. He instills confidence in his teams. He builds a foundation, and you see that happening here at Liberty University. He did it at Kansas, he did it at Buffalo, and you see what's happening at Liberty.
Some say he didn't get enough time to establish some of the principles he brought to Kansas. Some say the fans were upset they weren't winning right away. Midwest football. Make it with the carry. He'll get about a yard. And it's interesting when a lot of times you talk to people around the country about staffs and programs, and they say the 3rd year is kind of the magic year where things start to click. You're not still installing offense and defensive philosophies. You can start fine-tuning. You got players you recruited that are old enough to play your system.
Well, we live in an instant success society.
Yes.
Everyone wants instant success. You have to build. That's why you don't see coaches at programs long-term like you used to.
This pass out to the left side will get a gain of about 4 or 5 for Liberty. Trying to move the sticks. They got stymied on their last drive as Gabe Henderson made that catch out of the slot. They'll give him 6. It'll be 3rd and a medium here for the Flames.
Well, they need to get back to doing what they were doing early in the ball game. It was a big defensive stop for them the last series. Now you need to give your defense time to rest.
Woodrum with the sun in his face, helping Greg Ray, the center, find the defense. Macon empties the backfield. Woodrum's just going to run it. He didn't slide, and he got the 1st down. There is a flag down.
And the defense reacted late to the back going out in the flat. I wonder if they grabbed him.
Penalties decline. Foul zone number 20. 1st down.
One thing about this play, the defense has to react a little bit better. You saw number 20 a little bit too anxious. He stepped across the line of scrimmage, gave them a first down, but it was also a great decision by Woodrum. He had an empty backfield. Everyone is out on a pattern. The defense has their backs to him, and he got up the field.
It was Tyrell Tomlin, the linebacker, with the penalty. So Liberty does get the chains moving. Got Macon back in there. He scored that touchdown, and he'll get no gain there.
Todd Macon on the carry. Jeff Shutt on the tackle. Gain one on the play.
And on that play, that was good penetration by the North Carolina defensive line.
Just trying to take a look on the far side and see if I can spot Abner. Macon did well on the touchdown drive, so I'm not saying he doesn't deserve this playing time. Just curious about their running back rotation. Got to try to keep fresh legs as Macon empties the backfield again. The ball is tipped, looking over the middle,
Pass intended for
looking for Kendall Kumin, but couldn't find him. The tight end drag it across the middle.
Jeff Shutt on the
What they're doing is they're emptying the backfield. They're trying to get pre-snap reads. And Jeff Schottman did a great job staying on top of the tight end and not letting him catch that shallow cross.
Yep, Schottman. There's Abner on the sideline. Liberty 3 for 5 on third downs so far in the ball game. Converted at 47% last year. Pressure, a little screen, a very little screen. And a nice job finishing off the play on the tackle was Alex Dixon, one of the corners coming up.
And that was a great play. He located the football. He got down on the back, did not let him get north and south. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, I think the back gets around the corner and has enough for the first down.
Trey Turner on the punt for Liberty.
So just one first down on the drive. Switzer stands at his 20-yard line on the far hash marks. And we'll see if they punt it to him. It's a high kick. He does not call for the fair catch. He muffed it out of bounds. A 38-yard punt. Good hang time. It was going out of bounds anyway. So North Carolina will get it back at the 25-yard line. Neither team scored on its previous possession. The defense is starting to figure it out here in the early parts of this second quarter. Marquise Williams, the starting quarterback for North Carolina, has led them on a touchdown drive to start the game, and he'll keep it himself around the left side. He gets dumped after a gain of about 3.5. That is the element of his game we have not seen much today. Ryan Rose with Forrest Conley, Angela Mallon here from Chapel Hill. And that's the thing you want to focus on, is that guy's running game abilities.
Well, he changes the game because he's a dual threat, and you have to pay attention to him.
And then he does that right there. Quick pass. There's Switzer.
Ryan Switzer.
He's just racking up catches. That's his fourth today.
And North Carolina has this all day if they want to. The defensive backs are playing so far off the receivers. They're looking in the backfield. I think they're setting up for a double move later in this ball game where the receivers will be able to get on top of the safeties and the cornerbacks.
There's a gain of 7 and a first down. Liberty having to put some extra defensive backs in. Pass to Switzer again, trying to get around the left corner. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. There's his rushing total last year. He led the team by just a few yards.
And understandably, you don't want your quarterback to lead your team in rushing, but it's a dual threat that he presents to defenses to have to game plan for. And I think that's the difference between him and Trubisky.
Although we did see Trubisky take off, and here's Williams running loose across the 35-yard line. That's the thing, when a guy that big gets that head of steam, he's hard to bring down at that point.
And if you watch him, he plants his foot, he sees the lane that he wants, he tucks the ball, and he looks like a running back going down the field. He holds the ball high, and I like that by him. A lot of times when quarterbacks are running with the football, they have the ball out where it can get knocked out of their hands. He tucked the ball high, something you don't see a lot of quarterbacks doing.
20-yard gain. That's the long run of the day for either team. And an incomplete pass with 2nd down and 10. That's weird. Zings it in there, caught by Jack Tabb, the tight end. He's got big shoes to fill when Eric Ebron was drafted 10th overall by Detroit. Tabb finally earned the starting stripes after backing up Ebron for the last few years.
What I see early in Williams' ball game is his development as a quarterback. He attended George Whitfield's quarterback camp this offseason. He was also a counselor at the Manning Passing Academy, and you see some of these skills that he's developed in the offseason.
He is zinging it too. He's got a gun on the side of that body. Bug Howard makes that grab, and that is enough for a North Carolina 1st down.
And we're starting to see this Carolina offense get very comfortable.
They like the volume of plays here. That's something Coach Fedora his offense does. This was a tackle in the backfield. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he might have lost a yard. And a good job coming up there from Liberty's 52. And that is the right end, Chima Uzowehi. Coach Fedora pointed him out specifically.
And we haven't called his name often today. He's a very intelligent defender. He's an above-average pass rusher. He can make plays. I think he has to do a little bit more for Liberty to be successful on defense.
Pressure in his face. He's going for the end zone, but well overthrew Tabb. That was really one of the few times that Williams has had a lot of pressure around him. His pocket has been pretty clean.
But he did a good job of getting rid of the football and putting it where no one can get to it. You live to play 3rd down. Great play, great decision making.
Four wides, they line up set and now check back to the sideline for the signal. Williams will keep it himself. Tripped up and stuffed a few yards shy of the 1st down, and a bone-crushing hit coming in at the end of that play. Be down to the 27-yard line. They needed 10, they got 7. So the field goal unit will come out here for about a 43, 44-yard attempt. Moore's long last year was 40. He did it twice, once in the bowl win over Cincinnati down in Charlotte. He said he worked on improving the distance of his kicks. He had enough length, but it was wide right. So still his career long is 40 off of last year. So it remains 14-7, and Liberty gets a chance to tie the game on its next possession. Ranked Tar Heels with a touchdown lead over FCS opponent Liberty as the Flames get the ball back on their own 27-yard line here midway through the 2nd quarter. Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. Zinged over the middle but dropped on a low throw from Woodrum.
And those are some of the issues that they talked about Woodrum, the coaching staff, coming into this ball game. Putting the ball on his receivers' numbers. If you watch that play, Woodrum didn't step into his throw. You need to step into that throw, put it on your receivers' hands, or excuse me, on their numbers, where they can get the ball and get up the field.
Gabe Henderson, who was targeted early. He's in the slot now, number 10. And Abner is in the backfield. They're going for the distance here. Just, I don't want to say overthrown because the receiver ran under it. Darren Peterson got a fingertip on it.
Darren Peterson made one mistake. He slowed down. Woodrum did a good job of finding his receiver with one-on-one coverage on the outside. Peterson, I don't think, thought Woodrum was going to throw the ball to him, but it would have been nullified anyway because of a holding penalty on the offensive line.
North Carolina refused the penalty to make it 3rd down and 10. So that would have been the long play of the game.
And you see Woodrum, he saw he had one-on-one coverage on the outside and tried to get it to him.
9 out of 16, 103 yards so far for Woodrum.
Consistency was an issue with Peterson last season. You have to catch the ball and make the big plays when the opportunities present themselves.
Empty out the backfield. Abner out in a pass route. Caught, and this is a 1st down across the 45-yard line. And they did hit Henderson that time. The slot receiver has been a favorite target so far. 18 yards on the catch. That's his 4th catch.
And this is what I expected early in this ball game. Make the Carolina defense cover. Tim Scott is trying to cover a slot receiver. That's a tough cover for him on the inside.
Throw it out to the left side, overthrown. Trying to hit it. Jaquan Glover. That was Malik Simmons, the Ram, in coverage. North Carolina just lists 3 defensive linemen on their 2 deep, a bandit and a ram and 2 linebackers, which means they can throw a bunch of variable things up front in front of you in your quarterback's face. So the first job for these guys is to identify what they're seeing before they run the play.
And you see they get the play from the sideline.
Total yards tonight within 2. And thus the score. Abner was stood up about 2 yards into that run, but got a nice big push from his offensive line. And he'll be close to midfield, so this will be a 3rd and manageable after the 5-yard gain. An important play for Liberty at this stage of the ball game. It's not the ball game, but this is an important play right now.
You see, once again, they're spreading Carolina out. They've got 4 receivers, a single back in the backfield, and he can get out to the edge and get the ball in space.
Woodrum dances a little bit, throws it down the sideline, and essentially out of bounds. The crowd wanted a hold.
That was a dangerous throw by Woodrum. He threw off his back leg. I thought he could have gotten Abner out of the backfield. He had one-on-one coverage with a linebacker. If he leads him to the sideline, Abner can get the 1st down, get out of bounds, or try and get up the field and get more positive yards. And you saw Abner was a little bit upset on that play. These are plays that Woodrum, being an upperclassman, should be making. He has command of the offense. He knows what to do. He knows where his receivers are. I think he tried to get a little bit too much on that play.
That's the 2nd time you've mentioned he needs to take a look at Abner. Nice high punt. Fielded at the 11 by Switzer. Bounces off of 1 man, but the 2nd man gets there and makes the tackle. And that 2nd man was number 29, Miles Hunter. A 38-yard punt, a 3-yard return by Switzer. It's 14-7 North Carolina. North Carolina, as Mitch Trubisky in there, the signal caller for the Tar Heels. He'll hit Switzer in stride. Ryan Switzer now has 6 catches. That leads all players in the ball game. Trubisky was 2 for 2 earlier on that touchdown drive that went 50 yards. It's capped off by the Morris run.
Ball carried by number 8, TJ Logan.
And Logan carries it forward for a few, enough for the 1st down. He got 5.
On the tackle, gain of 5 on the play. 1st down, Tar.
And Carolina's doing enough right now. They're getting positive yards, 5 yards on the 1st play, 5 yards on the 2nd play. Can they continue this and get a score before the half?
This is not the 2nd unit out there. These are the starting offensive linemen, wide receivers, You're just getting Trubisky some time with the #1 unit to see what he can do. He redshirted last year, so they want to just see with this group, because you never know in college football. You're one play away from being the starter.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great play by Kenny Scott. He fought off the block of Bug Howard and made the tackle for no gain. That's what you want to do if you're a defensive back and you've got a short pass play out in the flat like that.
Trubisky has run once already, and this time forced out of bounds after being tripped up just 3 yards on the game, maybe 2. And there's Marquise giving him some encouragement from the sideline. He's had a good game today so far. 11 out of 16, 72 yards. He's even run it a little bit, showing off that lively arm.
Well, I like what he did. He set his feet and he lofted the ball up where his receiver can make a play on it. Right here, he waited for his receiver to break open, got the football to him. You see him, he doesn't see what he likes. He tucks it and he runs it, and he tucks that ball up high like a running back.
30 yards running, 72 yards passing. They're going up the sideline and overthrown out of bounds as Trubisky was pressured up front. It looked like Jaron Green, 76, busted through and got a flame in his face.
Well, the center got pushed back into Trubisky, and because of that center and the guards, they have to maintain the depth of the pocket. The quarterback could not step up. Jaron Green, he's a low. He's a typical A-gapper, you know, a big guy. He demands a double team, and when the quarterback can't step up, he has to scramble to the side. They closed it in on him.
Oh, the snap is over the punter's head, and he kicks it out of the back of the end zone, and that'll be a safety for the Flames. So a special teams miscue, and it almost seems like over the last couple of years that as the official gives us the official
results in the safety. Since a foul occurred in the safety, result is a safety.
Frank Beamer has always been known as the special teams crew, but that has sort of shifted to Chapel Hill over the last few years. The special teams unit has been solid. They return kicks and punts for touchdowns. They have a good punt average. That was atypical of what they do here, or I should say not typical of what they do here.
And that's not what you want to see if you're North Carolina. The longer you allow a team like Liberty to hang around, the more dangerous this ball game becomes. When teams believe they can win and they get big plays like this, now this Liberty Ball Club offensively need to come out, assert themselves, try and get the ball down the field, and try and go in at halftime with a 2-point lead.
It happened down the road in Raleigh today. Georgia Southern had a 10-point lead over NC State in the third quarter. Hung around, ended up losing, but you'll sweat a little bit in moments like that. It's a 5-point game, and Liberty's going to get the ball back. Not a lot of seniors in the starting offenses and defenses for North Carolina, but the punter's a senior and the long snapper is a junior. Something you don't expect to see was a miscue on special teams by North Carolina.
Well, you got to get the ball to the punter to allow him to make a play. He's an All-American candidate. He can get the ball and put it where it needs to be, but he has to get the football first.
Now the free kick after the safety is returned all the way back at the 19-yard line. Excellent hang time on that kick. That will be recorded as 64 yards on the kick and just a 7-yard return. So despite what you're supposed to get pretty good field position after a safety, it didn't quite happen. The Flames will start on their own 27, but old Uncle Momentum has run over and sided with the gentleman in white. If they can put together a drive of any sizable amount here and close this gap, or even take a lead here and run in the 5-minute offense.
Well, offensively, I look for them to look for Abner on some out routes. If they can get him on a wheel route, get him with one-on-one, I think Woodrum can get him the ball.
Abner will run it on first down, runs into his own man, and then tripped up across the 32 down to the 34-yard line. That's a great gain on first down for Abner. 7 yards.
And one thing Liberty is doing a great job of is identifying who to block. When you're playing against a 4-2-5 defense that moves around, you have to identify who you're supposed to block. And they're doing a great job up front right now. 2
seniors, 2 juniors, and a redshirt freshman on that front line for Liberty. Abner, a little pitch. Makes the man in the backfield miss, and he'll drive it forward for the first down to the 39-yard line. Give him 5 yards, and that moves the sticks and stops the clock momentarily here in this 5-minute offense. And they got to run it to establish the passing game to help loosen up the defense a little bit.
Well, you saw an example of Abner's speed. Ethan Farmer had great penetration on that play, but Abner was fast enough to get outside of him and get north and south and get that first down.
Abner not happy, had to come off. Liberty 185 yards total in this ball game. So Todd Macon in there in the backfield. Got a man, juggled and caught for a first down for Darren Peterson. He missed the one earlier, the leading receiver from 2013. Targeted about 40% of the time last year.
And if you watch Woodrum, he's looking at Peterson the entire way. Peterson got behind the receiver in front of the safety, and Woodrum put the ball right where he could make a play on it. And, you know, they have to be worrisome of Peterson. He gets 40% of Woodrum's passes.
31 yards on that catch. And Tim Scott, you saw at the very end of the replay, was pointing to help the safeties out as to where they were supposed to have been. That one looked like it stuck on his hand. Couldn't get it out of his hand. Woodrum might be the humidity messing with him a little bit. So an incomplete pass in 2nd and 10.
Well, I think he was looking at Peterson to go out, and Peterson went down the field. And, you know, you can't predetermine what your receiver is going to do. I think if he held the ball a little bit longer, Peterson had the defensive back beat once again on that play.
Maybe he tried to take the pass back, but he was too far into it. Under center now. And he tripped off of his center's leg, but still a positive gain for Todd Macon. He made something out of nothing. He got 8 yards, so it'll be just a couple yards needed for a first down here on 3rd and 2.
What's interesting, Carolina's defensive line looked like they're getting a little gassed. These are guys that got a lot of repetition during camp. We know that Ethan Farmer, there was uncertainty whether or not he'd play, and a lot of young guys got time, but there's nothing like game shape.
50% on 3rd downs of the game today, and North Carolina wants to talk about things, having to defend a 2-yard play here. So Carolina burns its first time out of the half. 14-9 your score, and this is what the Tar Heels face in the 2014 season. They're going to play San Diego State here next weekend. That game's on ESPN News. Then an off week, and then down the road in Greenville at East Carolina, and then probably the big game of the first half of their schedule at Clemson. That's going to help determine some ACC stuff. They'll be at Notre Dame also. So some of their tougher games are going to be on the road, except Virginia Tech here on October 4th.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Virginia game looms large. I saw Virginia earlier today against UCLA, and they gave them all that they could handle. If it weren't for Brett Hundley making a lot of plays with his feet, UCLA may have lost that ball game.
Virginia played very well defensively. Very well defensively. I know quite a few ACC coaches will take notice of that when they have some time to look at film of the Cavaliers. Still 3rd down and 2 after the timeout. Flags already.
And coming out of a timeout, you cannot have too many men on the field. That is a mental error that cannot occur on 3rd and 2.
Now we've mentioned they're missing 4 of their secondary, including 2 starters.
Defense had 12 men in formation. That's an illegal substitution foul. That's 5 yards. The penalty results in a first down.
You cannot have mental errors like that coming off of a timeout. You have to know what personnel is in the ball game. That's the youth movement that we talked about earlier. That's a youthful mistake. That's a big first down for Liberty.
Trying to run the old 4-4-4 defense. Can't do that. So a first down, and it's inside the red zone. Bounce it to the outside. Only 2 men to beat, and he's inside the 5. Todd Macon. already has the lone touchdown for Liberty. He'll get 14 yards on that play.
And this is what cannot happen. They crashed the defensive line down. Nazir Jones had an opportunity to make a play, but you cannot hand tackle. You've got to physically grab Todd Macon and bring him down. He broke that arm tackle, got up the field. This Liberty team is starting to believe more and more.
12-yard gain. The only time they've been in the red zone today, they scored a touchdown. That from Todd Macon's legs. From just inside the 4. This is Abner. He dives over the pile. He'll be down around the 1-yard line.
And here we go. If you're an offensive lineman, this is what you love. This is where you buckle your chin strap, you tighten up your knee straps, and you go full speed ahead. You want to see an inside push from this offensive line. Abner gets airborne, but they got up under him and they were able to get him down. Now, let's see if we see a surge from the middle of that offensive line, the 2 guards in the center.
What a great shot that is. Abner, and he's got a Liberty touchdown, and the Flames take the lead with just over 90 seconds left in the opening half.
Tar Heel Nation has just went silent. That was too easy. Watch the interior of this offensive line. You see the thrust. Abner basically walked into the end zone. He did not get touched until he was across the end line.
You said that O-line had to handle its business right there, and they did exactly what you said they needed to do.
And I like this.
Going for 2 to make it a 3-point game. Trip receivers right side. It looks like Liberty didn't line up correctly, and Coach Gill calls the timeout. He's upset, and that's kind of an execution thing. We've worked on things like this, guys. We need to be sharper with it. Here's another look at the score.
Look at the offensive line. Push the North Carolina defenders back into the end zone. The first time Abner gets touched, he's across the line of scrimmage in the end zone. This is what you need when you're on goal line, a surge. You basically are bear crawling across the line of scrimmage and asserting yourselves on the defense. I love that they're going for 2 right here. This is believing in your team, letting your team know we're not only coming here to play football, we're coming here to win this ball game. I believe in you as a coach. I believe in what we're doing. Let's get it done.
Interesting that the guy coaching the quarterbacks on the far sideline was a quarterback here in North Carolina. Just saw him in a huddle shot. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Going for 2. Put that ball down to 3. Trip receivers to the right. Single receiver to the left. Abner out of the backfield. They'll go to that single receiver. It is dropped. He had it in his hands. Darren Peterson on the little floater and couldn't come down with it.
And that was a great play call. They had a bunch formation on the right. They sent their back out to the flat to the right, which gave them one-on-one coverage on the outside with Peterson, but he couldn't make the catch. And we talk about consistency. They like to try and throw the football to him, but he's got to be consistent. He's got one-on-one coverage out here. He's got to make this catch. It hits him in the chest. You got to make that catch. You cannot worry about what's going on with the defensive back. A couple of times we've seen Tim Scott get beat in one-on-one coverage. I think that's something we have to look forward to in the second half. Will Tim Scott continue to give up plays? His move to safety all through the spring practice, all during last year, during the bowl season, early in this year's campaign. I wonder, has that had an effect on his ability to cover on the outside playing cornerback?
I've seen him after plays a few times help direct safeties to where they're supposed to be. They're probably asking him to do a little bit of coaching out there, seeing as he's played both positions. That's a lot to put on a guy. He's just trying to hold the secondary together back there. From inside the 10-yard line, a return by North Carolina. TJ Logan trying to take it back. He'll get it to the 35-yard line. He returned it 25 yards. And now the Tar Heels, if they have any magic left, 92 seconds remaining.
Well, this is where you have to be careful if you're the Tar Heels. Don't try and get it all on one play. You know that Liberty's going to pin their ears back and go for it. They haven't done well their last 3 possessions. You see 15 yards, 49 in a missed field goal, and then negative 15 yards and a safety as a result. Right now, be careful. You don't want to give Liberty any more opportunities before the half.
That safety is essentially the lead. A toss play to the right side. Morris run out of bounds after an 11-yard gain.
Gain of 11, first down, Tar.
First down for the Tar Heels. Gary Sampson ran him out of bounds, number 5.
That's a safe play. You get him the ball, you get him to the outside, get as many yards as you can, and get out of bounds.
Officials want to discuss something. And now they're not giving him the first down. It's a
Ball's being respotted.
second and 1, so they'll give him 9 yards there instead of 11. Maybe saying his knee was down about 1.5 yards shy of where we all thought they were going to put the ball.
The spot is correct.
Ball spotted at the 43. Correction from the referees. It's second and 1.
Second down 1. He got out of bounds, so the clock will not re-engage here. And Williams has some breathing room. He's going to try the right sideline, a little bit overthrown to his intended receiver, 14 quick shot Davis.
And Chima, it was the way he got pressure on Williams. He didn't allow Williams to get the time he wanted. He has to be careful with hitting him in the helmet. That could have been a 15-yard penalty. But you see the pressure. We talked about him earlier. We hadn't called his name a lot. Now you're in 3rd and short. Do you try to get the first down on a running play, or do you do some misdirection?
3 third-down conversions. It looks like North Carolina will have it. Oh, bowled over the defensive back. Holy smokes, what a run. That's Elijah Hood, the do-everything freshman from Charlotte.
And people, this is a bull in a china closet right here. He lowers the boom on a defensive player.
A 10-yard run.
It was Justin Guillory that got trucked. That's the kid that committed to Notre Dame and then decided to come to Carolina. Enrolled, I believe, in January. And this pass is complete for a gain of 6 out to the left, 13 rather out to the left side for a first down as they hit Bug Howard again.
And Hood has already gotten legendary status around campus. They've talked about him being able to squat 600 pounds. But what they also said is he's very mature but very humble for as good as he is. And you saw right there, when he got an opportunity, he made the most of it.
There you see Landon Turner, the leader of that offensive line, having to come off the field. He's the only player that started on the offensive line, or that starts, that is a junior or older. He's from Harrisonburg, Virginia, about 3 hours away. Williams, a little option, and he kept it. He'll dive up close to the 30-yard line. Final minute of this first half after a 4-yard gain, and the Tar Heels are looking to try to take the lead before the half.
And you see Williams' ability to stop on a dime, get back upfield going north and south. That's those running back abilities that he has, and that's what makes him a special player. Dylan Llewellyn had a play on him, but Williams, with his elusiveness, was able to plant that foot, that left foot in the ground, and get going north and south.
You have to account for him in your defensive scheme. You have to know that he can take off and run at any moment. He does it so easily. That seems to be the way of quarterbacking nowadays. I have that dual threat quarterback that can run it a little bit, and at his size, he's so hard to bring down anyway.
Well, with the speed that you see on defenses nowadays, your quarterback has to be able to tuck the ball and run. What I like about the way Williams runs the football is the way that he protects it when he's running with it. A lot of quarterbacks don't protect the ball very well.
Coming up on our Capital One halftime report, we'll take a look at the media picks for the ACC, how the media thinks it'll shake out. Can FSU repeat? Our college football roundtable will discuss. We'll have highlights and a recap of a very exciting first half of football here in Chapel Hill. Williams, pocket collapsing around him, but he fires it It's complete. A man is open up the right sideline, down inside the 10. Quinshad Davis, a first down and goal, coming up, a catch for 23 yards.
And Wesley Scott went for the football, very dangerous on that play. Davis caught the ball and was able to get up the field.
Pressure, and he throws it away. There's a flag down out of the back of the end zone.
And I think Justin Guillory got caught with a hold on that play.
Holding Davis, 23 in white and 14 in blue.
Well, great job by Williams keeping the play alive, getting outside the pocket and forcing the defensive back to hold Davis.
Holding defense number 23. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Carries an automatic first down.
And you see Williams got outside the pocket, which forced the defensive back to make a play on Davis and grab him. If he doesn't get out the pocket, then he's not forced to hold that receiver, and you know the fear is not there. That's the elusivity of him.
.32 seconds left, first and goal. The leading rusher for North Carolina last year ran for 6 touchdowns. He's got his first one of this year, a 3-yard score, and the Tar Heels are back on top. Extra point right down the pipe. So we have an odd score with 30 seconds left, 28 to be exact, 21-15.
And Williams did a great job on that read option. He saw he had an opening in the middle. He pulled that ball back out. He waited to the last minute, and he was able to get to the end zone. Great play by Williams, and that's why I think you continue to play him more. I like Trubisky, and I like his potential, but Williams and his ability to run the football makes this offense a lot more dangerous because you have to game plan for that. You have to watch him.
And what he's done tonight, he also has rushed for 37 yards and a touch. All 3 North Carolina scoring drives took less than 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
The more you allow a quarterback to play, the more comfortable they get in the offense. And I think you're seeing that with Williams. He's very comfortable. He's been there and done that. I like that you're giving Trubisky some time because you want to develop your second-string quarterback. But at the same time, you want to get the continuity very early in the season. And I think you'll see more of Williams in the second half.
Both teams ran over 40 plays in the first half. This one out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. See what the Flames think they can do in 28 seconds. Would you kneel down on it or take a shot?
I'll take one shot down the field, see what happens. It will have to be a long shot, just in case you get a turnover. You don't want to give North Carolina the ball back with a lot of time on the clock on their side of the field. You know, you want to make sure you get the ball down the field if you take a shot. But one shot, if you don't get anything, I think you take a knee, go to the halftime, and you try and regroup and try and come back out and play some more good football.
Turner Gill looks like he's going to kneel down now. He told us a few days ago he wanted to keep North Carolina to 72 plays or less. I feel like they'd have a chance. The Tar Heels ran 44 plays in the first half, though Liberty has more yardage than North Carolina. And we've got ourselves less than a touchdown game in extra point. 6-point game at the half.
But one thing I like more so about what Liberty's doing, they're moving the ball down the field with consistent drives. Carolina's had some big plays. Can Carolina come out and get some consistent drives going and take some time off the clock?
And the Tar Heels will get the ball to start the second half. But first, we've got some fun stuff coming up in our Capital One halftime report. It's a 6-point game at the half. Tar Heels leading 21-15. We fill your eye holes with football on Labor Day weekend. Glad you could be here on ESPN3. This was a tackle out of bounds here as we take a look at the quarterback comparisons from the first half between Marquise Williams and Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky looked good in his couple of drives that he played. He led him on a touchdown drive. Marquise Williams ran for one and has thrown for one.
And Trubisky had a nice run, that 15-yard run, but I think with Williams, you've got more versatility with the read option, with his ability to plant his foot and get up the field when he tries to get out of the pocket. So I like what he's done. I think he'll continue to do that in the second half.
Carolina, as you recall, won the opening toss and deferred, so they get the ball first here in the second half. A 4-yard run on first down for TJ Logan. There's Larry Fedora. A nice comfortable rain shower at halftime for the fans to kind of cool off. Logan again runs around the right side and over the 35-yard line. That'll be a first down or close to it. They will stop the clock and move those chains, and we should see a lot of this ground and pound here in the second half for the Tar Heels, although they don't have a comfortable lead yet.
Well, it opens up the offense. It allows them to try and pass the ball down the field because you bring more defensive players in the box.
Flags.
I'll start. 71 offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
3 penalties on North Carolina in the first half. 2 of those were defensive linemen. There's actually 1 defensive lineman, Norkeithus Otis, offsides twice.
And Otis came into this ball game a little banged up, so I don't know if he got out there and was trying to make something happen because he didn't start the ball game.
Logan makes a man miss and then gets it across the 40, so he got back the penalty yardage and he tacked on 3 more. 8 for number 8.
And Nick Sigmund did a great job tracking Logan on this play. He just got to the point of attack and got cut. And that's a great job by the offensive lineman, Lucas Crowley, getting out there and cutting Nick Sigmund.
Nick Sigmund, one of our impact players, did not start due to disciplinary reasons, but he is playing. 45. Williams zings it in there, but a little bit low. Could not complete the pass. Trying to hit Quinshaw Davis, number 14.
And I see them coming back to that play because Jack Tabb was wide open down the center of the field.
Four out of 7 on third downs in the opening half. Williams, clean pocket, zings it. Would have been a first down, but he let his receiver Tabb a little too much. They did go to him. Not the same play, but the only senior of the starting 11 on offense for the Tar Heels, Jack Tabb.
It was the way he is starting to settle into this ball game. He's getting a little bit more pressure off the edge. That's something that Carolina has to be wary of. If he starts to beat that offensive tackle, they're going to have to use a back to chip him and not allow him to start getting off that edge and putting pressure on the quarterback.
Watch the snap here. The last one went over the punter's head. That's a clean one. That is a terrific kick. Fair catch. Called for and made at the 8-yard line. Almost 5 seconds of hang time. A 51-yard boot.
A 51-yard Tommy Hibbert punt.
Tommy Hibbert averaged 43 yards a kick last year. Honorable mention all ACC coming into this season. And the senior had a beauty there. That is a field-changing play there. So now the Flames will see what halftime adjustments were made offensively. They were much like Carolina, had their really good drives and then their kind of so-so drives in the first half.
Pass the football to Abner coming out of the backfield with coverage with the safety on.
They are slinging it on first down even though they're starting from their own 10. Did he fumble it? Did he not catch it? They say incomplete. Juggled and we'll say dropped by Gabe Henderson. Closer look at it right in front of your face.
And I think he tried to make a play before getting possession of the football. The ball was a little bit low, but he should still make that catch. Get the positive yards. Don't try and make a play until you get possession of the football.
It changed defenses almost entirely there. A whole gaggle of blue shirts ran out from the sidelines.
It looked like a line change in hockey, the way all those guys ran out and ran in.
It sure did. 2nd down and 10. Abner puts his head down and he drives the pile forward. Sam Smiley ended up bringing him down after a gain of 9.
You know, Ryan, I love Abner's toughness. He gets around the corner and he doesn't look to run out of bounds. He puts his head down and he gets positive yards. Whether it's in between the tackles, whether it's outside the tackles, he's trying to get every yard that he can.
3rd down and a yard. Abner's lined up behind the fullback, Nicky Fualalo. Quarterback keeper, he ran into his own man. He got in Tanner Hartman's breadbasket, and it didn't look like he got it. No gain. Angela Mallon had a chance to chat with our head coaches at halftime, and let's toss it down to Angela and find out what she found out.
Well, Ryan, Coach Fedora was pleased with the way his offense responded there late in the 2nd half, but he looked at me and said, we should have been doing that all along and prepared to do more in the 2nd half. As far as Coach Gill, he said it comes down to offensive execution, and we need more production out of our top receiver, Darian Peterson. Forrest, you know, you predict a good matchup, and so far we have one.
They limited explosive plays. North Carolina only had 2 plays over 20 yards in the 1st half. They will punt away Will Liberty. Switzer gets it on his own 45. He's got some space. He's got some space. Up the sideline. A good return for the man who tied the NCAA record with 5 punt returns for a touchdown last year. A 38-yard kick and a 30-yard return.
And what you saw there was great vision by Switzer. He knows how to find his blocks, and he finds a lane once he gets his blocks, and he gets north and south. He makes plays. That's why you have to get him the football, whether it be on punt returns, kickoff returns, or in the slot. You see him, he finds the lane, he gets north and south, and he breaks tackles.
Crowd wanted a face mask and a horse collar, which happened simultaneously according to that replay you just saw. They're going for the end zone. It is intercepted. The helmet was ripped off. But Gary Sampson came down with a football. That is a key play for Liberty.
And once again, Williams puts too much air under the football.
Yes.
He was wide open. Sometimes you just got to put some zing on the ball and get it there. He put too much air. He allowed the defensive back to make a play. He was able to recover, get over on that side of the field, get in front of the receiver, and make a play. That's a great play by Gary Sampson.
They are reviewing this play to see if the ball touches the ground.
I think he did a great job. I think he kept control of the football, and it's a great play to concentrate with his helmet being ripped off. These are gap plays, game-altering plays. We keep seeing turnovers when you think Carolina's going to take over the ball game. All he has to do is put it on his receiver, and that's a touchdown.
They are checking the spot to see if he landed in front of the goal line, because that's a difference of where the drive starts.
Once again, you allow this Liberty defense to be opportunistic and make big plays when you had a sure touchdown.
Again, these guys, 19 interceptions as a team last year, plus 15 in the turnover department. It's not hard to figure out why they had the year they had last year.
When you've got a receiver streaking down the sideline like that, you got to put it on him. He had 2 receivers. He had his tight end, Jack Tabbs, going down the seam. And he also had Quinshaw Davis going down the sideline. But you've got to put it on your receiver when you lay the ball up there. And what I liked about what Gary Sampson did.
So they said the momentum of the catch took him into the end zone. Do you get credit for the touchback?
And he high-pointed the football. When you watch that play, he caught the ball at the high point. He didn't allow Davis to use his size and his athletic ability to make a play. He got in front of him, in between him and the football, where only he could make a play on the football.
So from the 20-yard line, the Flames get a second chance. And Abner stuck at the line. He might have gotten a yard, but he was met by some blue shirts that came with a little anger.
Well, Jeff Schottmer put his head in there and did not allow Abner to get going. And that's what you have to do if you're North Carolina. You have to assert yourselves again defensively and not allow this Liberty offense to get back into a rhythm.
He only had one tackle in the bowl game against Cincinnati. He was banged up in that game and was hurt a lot of the spring. So he's just kind of getting back into it. But a certain leader in the middle of that defense. Zings it. And it's caught by the tight end, Dexter Herman, number 42. And there was Schottmer hoping to make the tackle, but not before Herman could make a positive gain of about 7.
And that was a great read by Woodrum. What he saw is Schottmer come up to the line of scrimmage, act like he was going to blitz. He dropped back into coverage, but by the time he dropped back, Dexter Herman was able to get that short crossing route and get positive yards.
And as Coach Gill told us earlier in the week, he got the ball in the hands of his receiver. There wasn't a huge window to get that in there. Third down, they need a long 1 yard. Quarterback ran it last time on third down. Flushed out of the pocket. Lobs it toward the sideline. It is caught, bobbled, and incomplete. Dante Shells had it in his hands, and I think it kicked off his chest, and he knows it.
And that's a difficult throw to make for the quarterback, Woodrum. He's going to the left and throwing with his right hand. That was a great attempt to get the ball to his receiver, but his receivers have got to make plays for him. It wasn't the best throw, but it was there, and he should have made that play. You got to make that play on third down. Now you get the ball right back to North Carolina, and you've got the dangerous Mr. Switzer back there. He just had a big return. He may be feeling himself right now. This is dangerous.
High snap is dangerous, and that throws the punter's rhythm off, and he line drives it past Switzer. It kicks inside the 30 and will take a Liberty roll inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. 53 yards on the punt, no return, and the Tar Heels will get it at the 19, up by 6 points. Tar Heels by 6, just 5 minutes into this second half. Each team with 2 possessions, nothing going. There's Ryan Switzer. He had a nice long return earlier in this ball game.
And what you see with him, he finds his blockers, he finds his seam, and he gets going. And that's the thing about him, when he breaks tackles. That could have been a face mask on that tackle, but he's a tough guy to bring down.
Flashback to last January
and you
in
see
Charlotte.
The one cut, and he gets going. He breaks tackles. He is a special player when he gets the ball in open field.
An 86-yard return, which tied the NCAA record, his 5th punt return of the season for a touchdown. North Carolina on first down. Trubisky back out there. A 3-yard run. On first down will be second down and about 7. That was the 51st play run by North Carolina in the ball game. Pass and a catch made inside the 30-yard line. We got Davis again. The ball came out at the end, and I'm not sure if this is going to count. It certainly is going to be reviewed. The referees did not blow the whistle, and the result of the play was Liberty Jacob Hagan, number 27, picking it up and running it the other way.
And that was a fumble. I watched that play through its entirety.
Ball was fumbled, recovered for a touchdown.
Let's see.
That was definitely a fumble from what I saw initially. Now let's take a look again. He's not down yet. He's holding the ball wide. That's a fumble.
Okay.
No, that's a fumble.
Yeah.
And Liberty did the right thing. They got the ball and got to the end zone. That was a fumble. Trying to get extra yards. Sometimes you need to get down, and when you're trying to make a play like that, you've got to protect the football. Watch, his knee is never down. He's on top of the Liberty defensive player. The knee is never down. The ball comes out right here. That's a fumble. Now I say that, and the official's going to take a look at it.
Yeah. You don't get to decide.
I had a lot of conviction with that.
Oh, no. I was sold.
Well, I think it's a fumble.
Touchdown.
Okay, once again, that was a fumble.
You're exactly right.
His knee was not down.
That was the shot. That was the angle right there. That was the easiest to spot it. And so Liberty, off of another turnover force, their third of the game, gets the game tied at 21. And for the second time this evening, the Flames have a lead at number 23, North Carolina. Game-changing plays, 2 big picks, and a fumble recovery returned for a touchdown, and Liberty leads by 1. Forrest, you can paint your face, but you can't hide your disappointment.
Game-altering plays have been the key to this ball game. You saw Carolina going in for a score. If the quarterback puts the ball on his receiver, he lofted it up. The defensive back made a play, got a touchback. Then you see the same receiver get the football but not protect it. And Quinshad Davis, Liberty, an opportunistic defense, makes a score.
The ball bounced up into the hands of T.J. Logan, and he returned it out to the 30-yard line, 18-yard return. Here's the turnover story. 3 takeaways, 2 picks, and the fumble recovery. They have led directly or indirectly to 14 points. The turnover was the first interception gave Liberty a short field, and they drove it down for the score. And then that fumble was just straight up recovered by Jacob Hagan and taken to the house.
Well, they played through the whistle, and that's what coaches always coach you to do. Play until you hear a whistle.
Screen pass, left side. Logan, first down.
And that was a dangerous play by Logan getting airborne. He better protect that football because Jacob Hagan was coming and tracking him down on that play. But that's a great play call by Carolina. Use the aggressiveness of Liberty's defense against them and get the ball to your back out of the backfield.
Fake it to Logan, pocket collapsing, and Trubisky, excuse me, will be sacked. The first sack of the day by the Flames defense, and a big loss on the play.
And what you see on that play is the guards don't contain the depth of the pocket. The quarterback can't step up in the pocket. He tries to get to the outside, and he falls right into the defensive end's hands. The guards have to keep the depth of the pocket. They've got to be stout at the line of scrimmage, and the tackles keep the width of the pocket.
There's Jaron Green. This pass up the sidelines, too far out of bounds. Looking for Bug Howard. So it's going to be 3rd down and 17 after the sack and incomplete pass.
And what's interesting is they've got Trubisky in the ball game. Do you now start to mess with Williams' confidence because of the turnovers? One was his fault where he hung the ball up, but the second one, that was a pretty good pass.
Good play.
That was Davis, that gave up the football. You've got to let your quarterbacks develop a rhythm.
50% on 3rd down so far. Trubisky zings it to the left side. That's going to be well short of the first down. They got Bug Howard for the completion. The 10-yard reception will still leave them wanting 7 more.
And this is exactly what you want to do if you're Liberty. Give a little, but not enough. Get the ball back to your offense. Let them see if they can get something going. Something that's different this second half. The Liberty offense hadn't gotten going like they did in the first half. Can they get something going and put some points on the board?
Well, a rugby-style punt running away to the right side. That will take a Flames bounce and will be grabbed out of the air about their 11-yard line. A punt of 43 yards. Another great punt by Tommy Hibbert. The defense for Liberty has been opportunistic.
Great defensive play by the defensive back. He tracked the football. Right here, the defensive back has time to recover. He high points the football, concentrates on it, even with his helmet being ripped off. And right here, they play through the play, and you see the defense, they pick the ball up. Jacob Hagan, and he gets to the end zone. This is what you're supposed to do. You play until you hear a whistle. You don't hear a whistle, you get the football, and you go.
The defense has had a major impact in Liberty's offensive field position on the turnovers, giving them good field position, and then the defense taking one of its own. We talked about North Carolina having 8 non-offensive touchdowns last year. Liberty returned a few of their interceptions to the house. Here's what Woodrum has done tonight: 50% passing, $159. He has not turned the ball over himself. There was a fumble after a catch, and that is the lone Liberty turnover of the ball game. No interceptions for that young man. Out of the backfield, Abner, you've been asking for this. Carolina was ready for it. A little bit slow developing play. Who indeed to give the credit to? There were several guys in on that stop.
Well, I think they threw it to him a little bit too early. I think he's more elusive and more effective when he gets out into a route and he has man coverage on him. When you throw it to him in the backfield right there, you allow the defense to react and recover because they have great pursuit. That's the one thing that Carolina does very well with all the speed that they have on the field in that 4-2-5 defense is they pursue the ball very well.
Just 4 conversions on 3rd down and 10 opportunities. That was Junior Namkande on the tackle. 44 we were showing you coming off the field. Good story on him. Maybe we'll get a chance to tell it tonight. 3rd and long. Woodrum not sure what he thought his receivers were going to do, but none of them did it, and it's incomplete.
It looked like they were trying to run a rug play, which is basically a pick play for the inside slot receiver, but he couldn't get outside of the defense and get to where Woodrum was putting the football.
Number 35, Trey Turner, punting for Liberty.
Turner will boot it away a step inside his own end zone. Switzer is on the Liberty side of midfield, and will get it at midfield. A nice wall setup. Makes the first and second men miss and takes it to the 40-yard line. The punt was 36 yards. The return was 9. Short field for North Carolina, trailing by a point with 6:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. Just a 1-point game. North Carolina trails it here, but they have the ball in a short field. They get the ball out to the left side.
And that was a great job by Tab blocking to get his receiver some positive yards. And this is what you want to do. I like getting Williams back in the ball game. He's been more successful.
On to the left side again, up the sideline. The same guy that caught the last pass will run it in. Matt Collins.
And the success of this play is Tab. Tab makes a great block once again. He gets out there, he allows the receiver, Matt Collins, to get around him, and he's down the field for a touchdown.
He was the special teams captain last year as a freshman, so those were his first 2 collegiate catches. They must have seen something in the first time they ran it that they liked, ran it again. And Forrest says what they liked was the blocking by the tight end out there.
Well, he's a big frame at 6'3", 250 pounds. They put him out. He gets out on those defensive backs. Those are some smaller defensive backs. And when he gets out there, Matt Collins can get behind him and get to the sideline very quickly. Now, he got away with a little hole right there because he held Kenny Scott. You saw the jersey being tugged, but if they don't call it, it's not a penalty.
So for the 3rd time in the ball game, the Tar Heels take the lead. It's been a back and forth
But one thing we have not seen from the Tar Heels is a sustained drive.
That's right. These scoring drives all came on short time frames. When they've had longer drives, they've been stymied.
Big plays.
Let's go down to the sideline with more Angela Mallon.
Well, what I can tell you guys from field level is both teams and the respective fan base are keeping Kenan Stadium alive. You can feel both sidelines as though they're just saying, you know, this is our game.
Here's the kick, and of course, part of that coming to the fact that each team has had the lead multiple times in this game. Trying to take it up the right side. Zach Parker, number 1 on the return. He only got 12 after the kickoff. So now North Carolina again with a 6-point lead. After the safety, that's really why our score isn't, you know, football symmetrical, if you will, not perfect 7s and 3s.
Well, what's interesting is Liberty, they still have not gotten anything going in the second half offensively.
Right.
Can Woodrum get something going? I still think you look to get Abner out in the route. You can get the ball to him because you have guys that are trying to cover him that I don't think can keep up with him.
Liberty only has, that's intercepted. Going back the other way. Schottmer. Does he get in? Yes.
Bad decision making by Josh Woodrum. He eyeballs his receiver the entire way. Schottmer dropped back into coverage, made a great play on the football, and got to the end zone. You expect more out of your junior quarterback in Woodrum. You cannot eyeball your receivers when you've got linebackers dropping back into coverage.
A 19-yard interception return for touchdown. North Carolina took the ball away 13 times out of the air last year. Schottmer with his first interception. And the extra point makes it a 13-point lead. So each defense has a touchdown in this game. What more could you ask for out of the opening weekend of college football?
Look at Woodrum. He eyeballs his receiver all the way down the field in the seam. Schottmer, he does what he's supposed to do, drops back into coverage. I don't know if Woodrum even saw Schottmer. And he made a great play on the football. Now, what you have to be careful of if you're Liberty is allowing the wheels to fall off. Once again, Carolina makes a big play. Game-altering plays have been the key for Carolina throughout this ball game.
So in 13 seconds, North Carolina goes from trailing by a point to leading by a dozen. Make it 13 with the extra point. We thought 2 minutes 11 seconds to score, and their first drive was quick. 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds. Liberty's going to win the time of possession, and it doesn't matter.
Well, I'll tell you that last drive where I thought it went bad was their return man, Zach Parker, tried to make a play. They tried to hold him off in the end zone to take a knee and get it at the 20. He brought it out, only got to the 12-yard line, which put his offense with their backs against their own goal line. And you see again, you know, the quarterback, you cannot make those types of plays. You've got to protect the football. You've got to protect your team. If not for anything else, go 3 downs, punt it, get out of it, play field position.
Right. We know Coach Gill is thinking that same thing. Woodrum and company, a little new life. This one on the turf, and North Carolina's got it again.
And the wheels have officially started to come off.
Kendrick Davis.
And And it doesn't look like it was anything special on this play that the Carolina defense did. They just didn't protect the football. Abner's trying to adjust his face mask, and he doesn't hold on to, excuse me, not Abner, but the other running back, Macon, is trying to adjust his face mask as opposed to protecting the football.
It looked like Nazir Jones, number 90, reached in and tried to strip it. Williams back in there, trying to hit Switzer down the far sideline, and it'll be incomplete.
And if you're Carolina, you want to do what you've been doing. Work the football down the field. You don't have to look for the big play. Right now, you're in control of this ball game. You've got Liberty on their heels. Look at the Liberty defense. Guys have their hands on their hips. These guys are getting tired right now. This is when you assert yourself. Run the football.
But it is tempting to go for the haymaker and knock them out.
Jimmy O'Grady on the tackle.
2 straight plays resulted in a blue jersey holding the football when you were on offense to start them.
The offense for Liberty has to regroup. Right now, if you're Liberty's defense, you want to try and hold Carolina right here on 3rd and 6.
Switzer in motion. Marquise Williams. They almost got pressure on him. This pass is caught at the left sideline, and a great catch by Kendrick Singleton. He'll get 13 yards. Watch this catch.
And he had Switzer coming across the field, but he goes through his progressions.
We'll get Switzer here. And he'll go down inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, give him 5 yards on first down, and they're inside the red zone.
That's a great tackle by Wesley Scott. You've got to get Ryan Switzer to the ground when he gets the football.
North Carolina running a little hurry up here, trying to force some tempo on what they feel like is a slowed down, tired defense. TJ Logan can't get very far there. Dominic Davis, number 90, came up and waylaid him, as well as 23 Justin Guillory.
And maybe this is when you bring in an Elijah Hood. He's got fresh legs.
Oh, they'll give him officially a loss of 1. Back to the 15. 3rd down. Williams has got some room, and he's got the legs. He'll cut and score his 2nd touchdown of the night.
And this is what Williams brings to the table. He drops back. He sees that all the defensive backs have their heads turned. He sees a lane in the middle of the field. He makes one move, untouched, into the end zone. Dual threat quarterback.
With 6 minutes on the clock left in the 3rd quarter, Liberty was leading this game by 1 point.
He's in, his eyes are down the field, but he also sees the opening, and he takes off. Once he notices Jacob Hagan get turned around, there's so many gaps, there's so many ways for him to go. He finds a gap, he makes one move right here, and he's into the end zone, untouched. Too easy. And you have to wonder if attrition is starting to take effect. This Liberty defense has been on the field the entire 2nd half of the ball game, and they look like they were tired early in this drive. A lot of guys with their hands on their hips. A lot of guys looking frustrated out there. Liberty's still in this ball game. We still have an entire quarter and 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in this quarter to go, so they can get back into this ball game. You don't have to get it all at one time right here. And they're less than 3 touchdowns down. If they get 3 touchdowns, they've got a 1-point lead.
Well, that's what North Carolina has done in the last 3 minutes. 21 points. In the last 6 minutes, they've scored all their 2nd half points.
the second half, it's just been tough for them. They started out on their own 8, 3 plays, 9 yards, a punt. You know, they're starting in their own territory throughout the second half, and it just has not been successful for this ball club. They started on their own 23 plays and out. They're on 11 3 plays and out. They're on 12 1-play interception, and then they're on 25 1 play and a fumble.
Here's Abner. Got spun around and dropped after a gain of 2 to the 27. And it happened like with a snap of your fingers. It just all of a sudden, you give up 3 touchdowns.
Well, they were doing so well in
Yes.
the first half. And they came out, and it seems like offensively they are kind of flat in the second half. And that has an effect on your defense and their ability to hold.
And it's almost as if every time the North Carolina side comes on the field from the sideline, they seem an inch taller every time they come back out. First down catch. Is that going to go down as a fumble? No whistles yet. Carolina's trying to return this one to the house. Knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line, returning the football back, or trying to. On an excellent run over there was 26, Dominique Green.
And once again, you've got a player that makes a great play with the catch, but Dan Peterson doesn't protect the football. He's had some drops earlier in this ball game. Another costly fumble, a costly turnover for this Liberty offense. And once again, you put your defense back out there with their backs against their own goal line. You're giving the ball to North Carolina right outside of the red zone. It's just falling apart right now.
In Liberty's last 5 plays, they've turned it over 3 times. Un-Liberty-like. Trubisky fakes the hood, going for the home run ball. Juggled and incomplete. Looking for the tight end. Jack Tabb, number 80.
And you want to reward Tabb. He's had some great blocks out there. But you also want to get your young back some carries. Elijah Hood is in the game. Let's see if we can get some carries. But right here, Jack Tabb, great play by the defender on the football at the last minute.
Here's Hood. Get a little taste of the future.
And this is what I've been wanting to see. He's been described as a bull in a china closet. Not a china shop, but a china closet because of the contact he likes to run with. And you see it right here.
18 yards on that run. This time held up at the 5 for no gain. It'd be second down and goal. I saw this kid play in high school down at Charlotte Catholic. It wasn't fair for the other high school players on the field.
Well, he's a man among boys in high school, and you see the potential all over this kid. And he's got time to learn. He's not thrust in there where he has to start and play heavy minutes early in his career here at North Carolina, which I think is good. It helps him develop as a player.
There's Jack Tabb catching the touchdown pass. A 5-yarder, 4-yarder, excuse me. And Trubisky has his first college touchdown pass.
Great play action. And Jacob Hagan got caught looking in the backfield. Tabb did the right thing, got in the scene where Trubisky could get the football to him. Nobody around him.
Another touchdown drive under a minute for North Carolina.
52 seconds, 23 yards, and 4 plays. The score, North Carolina 49, Liberty 22.
This looks like Larry Fedora football.
Yeah, Carolina's found a comfort zone. Both quarterbacks are playing a lot better in the second half. Williams with his feet. You see Trubisky with his arm. His ability to go through the play action fake, get the ball up and get it to his receiver. Great play by this offense.
Congratulations on your first touchdown pass, young man. Probably many more to come. And if we can believe Coach Fedora that Trubisky has pushed Williams as hard as he could push him, you got 2 quarterbacks. They both played extremely well. Now, this is an FCS opponent, that played its heart out defensively in the first half.
And in today's football, you want a very good backup quarterback. And what you see here is you're allowing these guys to develop. I do think Williams still presents a greater scoring threat because of his ability to tuck the ball and run. But I like what I've seen out of Trubisky early in this ball game and, in the second half, throwing the football.
This will be booted near the back of the end zone for another touchback. So Liberty will start once again from its 25-yard line. And with more on our quarterback situation, Angela Mallon. Angela.
Well, guys, I really like what I'm seeing from Williams and Trubisky. The way they're coming to the sideline, they're sharing thoughts with each other, they're talking it out. Then Williams goes over to the sideline and tells his team, by no uncertain terms, we're in this position. We went from 0 to 100 by not letting up and playing our game.
They are friends. That's what the coaching staff tells us. They're very supportive of one another. Good teammates.
And the coaches said they liked that in camp. They said it was a battle to begin with, but they started working together, and they saw them coming together as a team. And that's what you want. The common goal from everyone on that sideline is to win the ball game by any means necessary. Of course, you want to be the starter, but you have to work together to get better. And with Williams being the starter last year for the second half of the season, having the experience that he has, he can help Trubisky see things that he hadn't seen because he hadn't had a lot of playing time.
Help yourself and help a teammate. It is good for the collective. Abner was run out of bounds after a gain of 1. And Liberty still sputtering here in the second half. And at this point, you got to think the boys in blue are going to be strip happy as best they can. They've been forcing turnovers left and right. At halftime, Liberty had 240 yards of offense. Right now, they have 288. Just 48 yards of offense in this quarter. And it wasn't from not having the football. They've just turned it over so quickly each time. North Carolina about 145 yards of offense in this quarter. Before we have a 3rd and 5, Liberty calling a timeout with a minute to play here in the 3rd. Revisit what the coaches told us about their game goals. Create explosive plays, and Coach Gill referred to those as plays of 20 yards or more, but you got to include turnovers in that mix as well. They've done that.
And he's created a lot of turnovers. His guys have played through the football. They've tackled the football. They've done a great job of that in the second half. They didn't get down on themselves. They looked at times like they were down on themselves, but they've regrouped and they've made great plays in the second half.
Executed those plays as well. And the game goals that Coach Gill told us about, try to establish that run game. They had it going a little bit in the first half, nothing here in the second half.
And they have not minimized the big play. Carolina's made big play after big play, and a lot of these scores have been on big plays.
Woodrum flushed out, pass dropped. A tough catch, in fairness to Gabe Henderson. But he had his hands on the football, and a lot of people will say if you can get your hands on it, you can possess it.
Well, you got to execute plays, and you see right here the quarterback is flushed out of the pocket. He has nowhere to go with the football. He finds a receiver late in his pattern, but the receiver has to make great catches. There's sometimes that as a receiver, you've got to help your quarterback out. If you can touch the football, you can make a play. Dive, make a play, keep the drive going. Now you put a tired defense back out on the field once again.
Low snap fielded by Switzer. Not ideal. Now he only has 2 men to beat here. Makes the first man miss, and he gets it back to midfield. Even on a busted punt of 42 yards on a low liner, he still manages 21 on the way back.
And a lot of his punt returns are made like this. They're not clean catches. He gets the ball on the bounce. He catches the ball over his shoulder. He's just a playmaker when he gets going north and south.
Number 1, receiving team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
There was a flag there on the Tar Heels on the return. Chris Francis on the return team. Illegal block in the back on the far sideline. So from that point, minus 10 yards, and that'll wipe out an electric play by Ryan Switzer.
I still think he has one left in him before the game is over. I think right now, if you're Carolina, you want to work on your running game a little bit.
Let me quote Larry Fedora. I read his lips. Are you kidding me? That's what he said. More flags.
Right tackle jumped off sides.
False start. Offensive line. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's John Heck, son of longtime NFL player and current NFL coach Andy Heck.
Played in the league 12 years.
He has football pedigree all over him.
Carolina coaches said he had a great summer as a sophomore starting on the line. Williams was hit as he threw. He got it out quickly to Logan. He goes up the sideline, and they get back to the original line of scrimmage. A 5-yard gain to make up for that penalty. We'll have 2nd and 10.
I look for a double move soon.
You've been calling for that, and I'm with you. It's been set up nicely.
Well, the defensive backs are looking into the backfield.
Logan out of the backfield. Turned a 2-yard loss into about a 3-yard gain there. It'll be 3rd down and medium. And that was the final play of the 3rd quarter. What a quarter it was for the Tar Heels. They led by 6 at the half, got down a point, but now lead it by 27 after 4 touchdowns in the quarter. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Welcome back to Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. An awesome college town as we start the 4th quarter. Pass up the right sideline, caught by Switzer, but his knee was down. In a quarter that featured 5 combined turnovers, North Carolina scored 4 consecutive touchdowns after Liberty got the first score of the 2nd half and took the lead by a point. 28 so far unanswered points has resulted in blowout conditions. But again, Liberty scored average 37 points a game last year, so they have the quick strike ability.
We haven't seen it tonight. We've seen sustained drives for scores. But if you're Liberty, you're still in the ball game.
Muffed that punt, but fell back on it. A 36-yard kick. Zach Parker falls on it, no return.
Did Liberty dip their gloves and slippery juice at the half? I mean, they have let the ball go throughout the 2nd half. Is it a lack of concentration? I mean, what's going on with this Liberty Ball Club?
It did rain at halftime. Maybe they just left all the gloves out here on the sidelines. You get a trademark something. Slippery juice?
Slippery juice. I mean, something.
Okay.
Because they're just letting the ball go.
150 to 53 in the yardage department in the 3rd quarter. Obviously, North Carolina, the larger of those 2 numbers. Josh Woodrum still trying to get his rhythm. The Flames scored once on a defensive fumble return for touchdown, once on a short field.
What I'd like to see Woodrum do is go through his progressions. I've seen him often eyeball his receivers down the field. And when you watch North Carolina, they're reacting to what he's doing. They're watching him. He has to do a better job of going through his progressions and finding receivers that are open.
Abner wrangled down after a loss of perhaps 4 or 5, and he had nowhere to go.
But I tell you what, Joe Jackson needs to make sure he makes the tackle.
Right. He almost let him go.
He did let him go. He was still up. Joe Jackson gets up and walks away, you know, showing off. He didn't make the tackle.
3rd down coming up for Liberty. They need 8. They've got to get to the 44-yard line. You can hammer some nails in this coffin. We've got to show you something here, and I'm sure coaches challenged them at the start of the 4th. Let's see what you got. Had time, and then the pocket collapsed.
And we talked earlier about what the responsibilities are of the offensive line. The tackles have to keep the width of the pocket. If they don't keep the width of the pocket, the quarterback can't step to the side. You saw the pocket break down from the right side. He tried to step up. There was no depth, and he got wrapped up for a loss.
There you see Joe Daly, the former quarterback here at North Carolina, talking to Josh Woodrum. Jesse Rogers, number 43, was the one that made that sack. Helped by the coverage, of course. Switzer slips and falls. The lone mistake he's made tonight. 45 yards on the punt. No return.
Now, this is when you test the character of your ball club. How will they respond in adverse situations? It doesn't look like they're going to win this ball game.
Well, let's see what their defense can do. They've been on the field a bunch here in the second half, trailing by 27. North Carolina gets the ball back here in the 4th. After a 28-point offensive explosion in the 3rd quarter to take this commanding lead. Hood to the right side. Elijah Hood bounces off 2 more guys. That is a tough 5-yard run for the freshman out of Charlotte. Came here in January. Committed and then decommitted to Notre Dame. He just traded 1 letter on his helmet decal. Went from an ND to an NC.
And you saw a lot of athleticism. He got east and west. He got north and south, planted the foot. He got airborne, and then he ran over somebody.
False start. 68 offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
This is the 4th quarter, which means it's time to get some more guys in there. Lucas Crowley, sophomore. This is how you develop young players. You got to get them in there against an opponent that doesn't know the playbook. Trubisky almost picked off. It was picked off. A tipped screen pass, intercepted, and the Flames will have a short field. Alpha Jallo, number 38, after the tip, made the pick.
And this is a youthful play. Trubisky has to understand they're playing for the screen. You watch the defenders, they stop rushing the passer, they sit back, and that was a great play by Edwin DeSources. He put his hand up, he got the ball tipped up in the air, and the defender was able to make a play on the football. Trubisky has to understand when the defensive line stops rushing, either throw the ball out of bounds or check to another read.
Young players can tend to get locked in on the play as it's designed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
And that's youth.
Right,
It'll come.
It'll come.
It takes time.
That's a teaching
and it's a good,
moment.
yeah, it's a good learning experience for him. You don't want it to happen too often.
No. Pressure. Woodrum goes down. He is able to get back to the line of scrimmage, but not before he's dragged down by DeJuan Drennan.
Jackson Boyer.
And Woodrum has to feel that pressure coming from the backside. You've got to feel it right now. Get rid of the football.
Best starting field position of the night for the Flames at their own at the Carolina 15. The first touchdown came on a short field after the interception. Right side up inside the 5-yard line. Todd Macon, 14 yards on the run, and it's 1st and goal.
And this is when they've had a lot of success. They get the offense flowing to the right side. You get Macon the ball. He plants and he gets north and south. And that's what I like about him. He's very hard to tackle. He falls forward. That's great running ability by Macon.
Great to see his left tackle Max Summer about 10 yards deep blocking for him. Has the makings of a good offensive play for a running back. Power formation. Macon scores his second touchdown of the night. A 1-yard run, and that gives the Flames 28 points.
And that's a great job by this Liberty offense. You'd like to see this. This is character building. This is what you want to see. You're behind by a lot of points in a game that you're not expected to win, but you continue to compete. This will help this team moving forward as they get into their FCS schedule.
On paper, not really supposed to be competing in this game. You can't tell them that beforehand, and they came out in the first 30 minutes and did exceedingly well. There's a flag down around the scrum. We go against the Tar Heels.
The extra point attempt is good to score.
So the extra point is going to count. And Coach Gill's going to take it on the kickoff.
Personal foul, roughing the snapper on the defense, number 96. The extra point is good. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
So the lead is 20, and we'll see if we can spot it hitting the snapper. Yeah, he's defenseless. You can't plow into him like that. The flag comes in, rightly so. It's still a 20-point game, though. North Carolina leads by 20. Early parts of this fourth quarter. 8 turnovers tonight in the ball game, 4 for each team. But it seems like North Carolina in the second half took advantage more of the turnovers, even though Liberty scored 2 touchdowns off of turnovers in the first half. And now whistles blow as Liberty is running some sort of onside kick scenario since they're getting to kick from the 50. And I just think the referees had not whistled the ball clear for play here. We'll try it. It gets into the second level, and it will be down to the 35-yard line. Well, this being the ACC on ESPN, we thought we'd take a look around the league. Everybody in action this weekend. Wake on Thursday, Syracuse on Friday. The rest of them are this weekend or tonight. There are some more coming up, and one in action late tonight and one Monday. You see Duke winning across town. They're 17-0. Number 1, Florida State over Oklahoma State. And of course the ACC official opener Monday night, Miami to Louisville. Forrest is going to see Miami next week. And he is trying to sneak peeks at Florida State when he can here tonight, his alma mater. What do you think about those FSU Noles? What do you think? You got a ring with them the last time they won a title back in '93.
Well,
and now they won one last year. How hard is it going to be to try to repeat that thing?
It's tough to repeat, but they've got all the talent in the world. When you look at their leader, Jameis Winston, I think as those young receivers start to develop, they start to develop a running game with Carlos Williams and Mario Pender, and the defense. You know, I look for some of those guys to come in and step in and play where you lost players. You can't replace a Kelvin Benjamin because of his size, but you can look for someone to replace his production.
Austin Proles hit in the gut on that play, and he's not getting up.
And that is called setting up your receiver. Young quarterbacks do it all the time.
Losing 3 yards. And now with the new playoff, that kind of adds a wrinkle to make it tougher, because they're now, after your conference championship, it's not just one game. You're going to actually have to win 2 in about a 7-day period once they set that up. And you know, the PR is out about how it all sets up, but this is a new wrinkle. We don't know what we're going to see. What we do know is strength of schedule is about to get really important.
And that's what makes this first playoff very interesting.
Yes.
Everybody talks about the SEC, and the SEC is very strong. But the Pac-12 has an argument right now to be the strongest conference in college football.
Agree.
You look at UCLA, Oregon, Stanford, Arizona, Arizona State. You've got Chris Peterson leaving Boise finally, going up to Washington. There are some tough ball clubs out there, and they may be able to sneak 2 teams into the Final Four.
This one goes for no yards for Chris Francis. I can't wait to see how it's going to happen, especially when the committee gets together and that their first poll, their first ballot comes out. You know, there are no rankings officially for, you know, the first month or so, and they'll get together and powwow, and then we'll have the votes, and that's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
When in mid-October, the 13-member panel will get together. They'll start the process of determining what teams are going to be in that Final Four. And when you look at the Big Ten, they may lose out. This is who I see being in the playoff. I like Florida State. I like LSU. I like UCLA. I'm kind of stuck on that SEC #2, because if you
wait a second, that's weak sauce. That's weak sauce. You got to pick somebody. You can't do that.
Well, you know,
slippery juice, or whatever you were trying to sell me earlier.
I'm going back and forth on that, but when I sit back and I analyze and I look at what's going on right now in college football, we know the SEC and the reputation that it has. But when you look at the Pac-12 and you look at what's out there, you can have one Pac-12 team lose one game. Say it be a Stanford loses to Oregon, or Oregon loses to Stanford.
We'll step aside, hold that thought. I'm not cutting you off. We just got to pay some bills. We'll be back. We'll let Forrest maybe pick a 4th logo. 23rd ranked North Carolina Tar Heels at home. The first ever meeting against Liberty, and quarterbacks that played tonight. As you see our scoreboard fly in to give you the numbers and facts and figures. Ball at the 20-yard line, first down. Going for the deep ball. Hung up in the air. Is that intercepted? It looks like it was. It is.
That was a great play by Keith Davis. He located the football, put himself in between the receiver and the football. Great concentration. Once again, something we've seen all night. The quarterbacks have put a lot of air under the football, allowing the defensive backs to turn and make plays and regroup and get under the football, and you see it right there. Great play.
Another turnover, the 5th of the ball game for Liberty. 9 overall between the two teams tonight. Trubisky with a toss to Hood. Ooh, did you see that? He got popped and he did not go down. This is how the two quarterbacks played tonight. Marquise Williams, 19 out of 29, a $169. Didn't light it up through the air, but threw some solid passes, and they don't ask him to light it up through the air. They ask him to move the football down the field. Even if it's 3- and 4-yard passes, that's fine. Trubisky in his first college action showed off pretty well tonight.
What Marquise did, I thought that was very good. He showed an ability to go through his progressions and find the open receiver. He showed some touch on some short passes, and he showed a little zing on a short pass. And of course, his running ability has been on showcase, planting that foot, getting upfield, making fakes in the open field, and getting to the zone twice.
Trubisky zings one in there, caught up the far sideline, a 6-yard gain.
Pass made to Jordan Gialto. 6-yard gain. We're playing first down.
And that is a first down for the Tar Heels. We're going deep down the depth charts now. Hood got the handoff. The flags flew.
False start. Number 71. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Let's revisit what we were talking about before we went to break about the playoff. And you were talking about a second team getting in. I know there's this Big 5 split off and stuff, but the other conferences will have a shot to get in. Everybody's eligible to get in this thing.
Well, one thing that comes into play is the strength of schedule. And when you look at the Big Ten, they've got some issues that can occur early in the season that I think will possibly eliminate those teams. You got Wisconsin and LSU tonight. If Wisconsin loses that ball game, I think they can go undefeated the rest of the season and not have enough as far as strength of schedule. Ohio State got pushed around today by Navy, losing Braxton Miller. I don't know if they go undefeated. And then you've got the other power team in the conference, Michigan State, going to play at Oregon. If Michigan State loses, if Ohio State loses, which I think they will eventually during the season because of the loss of Braxton Miller, and if Wisconsin loses tonight, they could have the Big Ten champion being left out because of the strength of schedule and the power that lies out in the Pac-12 as well as in the SEC.
Because where, if you lose those early games, where can you gain that ground back with what you have left? They just don't have the awesome games on the Big Ten schedule. I mean, in conference isn't as great.
Well, let's say if Ohio State loses, then that takes away quality points of a win against an Ohio State.
Exactly.
You know, when you look at these other teams, they've got to stay undefeated because the other teams play so many ranked opponents.
Right.
UCLA in the Pac-12 South, you've got Arizona, you've got USC, you know, and you're going to play Stanford, and you're going to play Oregon. That is a powerful schedule in itself.
Right.
You can possibly have a team go out there, lose 2 games, win the Pac-12 championship, and qualify.
That's what the
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
The SEC's been living off that for a while now because their teams are so good when you get to conference schedule. Wins in league are strength of schedule wins. I mean, that you have the advantage of getting to play those teams. You got to win the games, but
well, you've got a lot of square chin football being played out in Pac-12. We've seen square chin football played in the SEC for years. Florida State played square chin football last year, and I expect them to play the same this year. You know, that is a cause for concern for the Big Ten, which is one of the Power 5 conferences.
And one of the reasons they've been talking about not scheduling FCS opponents anymore because the strength of schedule hit. After a punt from North Carolina, Liberty will get the ball back. Just under 6 minutes to go in this one, trailing by 20. 4 touchdowns in the third quarter have helped North Carolina, ranked number 23, to get out to a 20-point lead in this ball game. And we take a look now at our Capital One Impact performance. Not a tough decision. Good ones all around for the Tar Heels, but Marquise Williams did it through the air, did it on the ground. He was picked twice, but he ran 2 in for scores as well. He did everything tonight for us.
You saw a touch on that pass. You saw the touch on the short pass. And now you see him fake the read option, get north and south, get up the field. You see him get the ball to his receiver where he can make plays out in the open field. He showed poise at times. He still needs to work on that long ball. Don't put too much air under it, but a great start from Marquise Williams.
Found out he was the starter today about 3 o'clock.
And I think in the back of his mind, he always felt like it was his job to lose. When you lead the team in rushing and you're the quarterback, you know, you bring a different element to the team, and his dual threat ability, I think, is what put him over the top.
Will they be good enough to win the division and get to the ACC title? That's the question. Hard to know after today. But we've seen flashes as Macon drags the pile forward for 2 more.
Well, I think what you can take from this ball game is a lot of good game experience from your youthful players. That's big time moving forward. You want to get those guys out there. You want to see what they do. And, you know, when you talk to the coaching staff from North Carolina, they call their youthful players their secret weapons because they didn't know how they respond in real game action. And I think these guys have done a pretty good job.
Empty backfield for Liberty. They did say we want to see what they do under the lights. Zinging out there. There's a first down catch.
Pass is complete to Dante Shells.
To Dante Shells, number 8, the junior. Give him 7 yards, and that'll move the chains.
And what we just saw is something I thought we would have seen throughout the evening is 5 wide, spreading North Carolina out and taking advantage of the mismatches. But they were doing so well running the football early in the ball game, and Coach Gill talked about wanting to establish the run. I think they got away from spreading out this young Carolina defense.
First time Liberty has played North Carolina. He just throws this away. He had a hand in his face, did Woodrum smartly on first down. That's a free down to do that. It's okay.
Pass incomplete.
First time they've ever played a ranked FBS opponent. But still, good things you expect are still in the works for Liberty moving on this season. They're in Norfolk State next week, and then a couple of home games. Their Big South schedule will start October 25th against Gardner-Webb. It's Liberty and Coastal Carolina. Those are the two teams. The ball pops out. It's on the ground. And I believe the Tar Heels are going to take away the ball for the 6th time tonight. They have.
And what is that, 5 turnovers in the second half?
Yes. In the second half, 5 turnovers. Dominique Green came away with the football.
And you see Macon, he gets in the hole. Once again, you've got to protect the football. Great job by Carolina tackling the football.
Joey Mangili knocked that one out. Dominique Green came up with it. 6 turnovers for Liberty. They were plus 15 in the turnover department last year. And I believe we're leading in turnovers earlier in this game, like 3-1 or something.
False start. 72. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Although Carolina's winning this ball game by 20 points, there are a lot of things they can take from this game that they need to work on. One thing is cleaning up. You know, we talked about running the plays and not making mistakes, and they've made a lot of errors tonight, a lot of mental errors.
Kiero Holtz tabbed for that one. Over on the left side. And the third quarterback in for North Carolina. That's Cameron Coker out of Flowery Branch, Georgia. Sophomore. Loss of a yard there, 2nd and 11. You don't have to try too hard to find a reason to play more quarterbacks. When Bryn Renner went down last year for the Tar Heels, they had to scramble a little bit. They found Marquise Williams, and a good story came out of it. And we've got more good stories here. We're going to talk about that young man, and with more, here's Angela Mallon.
Well, if you guys were wondering what's up with the Green Bay Packer jersey, I got to the bottom of it down here on the sidelines. That's Caleb Presley. He's a senior this year, backup quarterback the last 3 years for the Tar Heels. And he said, Coach, I want to signal the plays in. So Coach gave him the job, and he said, and I want to wear a different NFL jersey every week representing a Tar Heel in the NFL. So there you go, Caleb Presley. And he said, you know what, if you want to know any more about me, you've got to wait till this game's over. I got a job to do.
And he's very active down there doing it. Yeah, he stepped down from his playing duties. Said, I still want to help the team, though, and this is how he's helping.
And you love to see that. I like what the coaching staff is doing, allowing him to continue to be a part of what they're building down here. That's great about Coach Fedora. He's building the foundation.
Liberty calls a timeout. On the other side, Desmond Rice, who is out for the season after injuring his knee. He is helping the coaching staff out as well, assisting with the running backs since he can't play this season, but he'll be back next year and fold into the mix of an already talented backfield. He was the leading rusher last year for the Flames. Coach Fedora sees Liberty call a timeout. Some early hiccups. Couldn't quite get in a rhythm offensively, hot and cold, and then the second half the defense really turned it on. And by the way, Caleb has a lot of names to choose from wearing jerseys of Tar Heels in the pros.
Probably the most famous is Lawrence Taylor.
He's got Julius Pepper's new Packers number on right now. And we're back to play.
And Charles Brunson has had some pretty good runs.
He's got 27 Brunson. Julius Peppers. Green Bay jersey, just signed with the Packers. And on 3rd and short, it looks like Carolina gets the first down, so it'll be 1st and goal here with a little over 2:20 remaining. And this second unit plus trying to earn some more playing time. Another run by Brunson.
And they're doing a no huddle, which I understand if you've got your starters in. When you've got your 2nd and 3rd teamers in, I know you want to get game action and game practice.
And a little tempo on it.
Yeah, this is a little different.
Booker hands off. Still turning his legs down there. Brunson trying to get everything he can get out of it.
Brunson again on the carry.
Down to the 1.
And Brunson is showing you something. He's
Yes,
a
he
powerful
is.
runner.
5'11", 200 out of Winston-Salem. He went to North Davidson High School, about an hour and change from here. Met at the line there, but spins off and is rewarded with the score.
Brunson on the carry. Touchdown, Carolina.
That drive was all Brunson. And after that run, he's going to end up the leading rusher for the game for the Tar Heels.
And you see, he doesn't go down after first contact, initial contact. He spins off of it, keeps himself upright, gets to the end zone. Great run by Brunson. Great drive by Brunson.
That 2-yard run makes him the leading rusher for tonight by 2 yards over Marquise Williams. He'll have to answer to that man. Nice job by the sophomore. Just like you can't have enough quarterbacks, you can't have enough good, durable running backs, too. This season is long.
And it should be noted, this is Coach Fedora's 50th win as a head coach. So he passes a milestone tonight as well.
7 straight winning seasons, and the only coach in the last 77 years with back-to-back winning seasons to start his North Carolina career. Here's what they have in front of them next weekend here against San Diego State. A couple of road trips to Greenville and near Greenville, South Carolina, down in Clemson. That'll be the early test. Home against Virginia Tech, your favorite to win the division. So Clemson, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. A stretch that the schedule maker didn't do them any favors after the first couple there. That's a rough run right there.
But that'll test the merit of this ball club.
No doubt.
That's why it's good to get Trubisky a lot of playing time today. You want to get him some playing time next week against San Diego State. And you want to prepare your team to be able to come in and play well.
7 different players have taken the ball across the goal line tonight.
And that's something Coach Fedora talked about, getting the ball to his playmakers, allowing them to make plays. And you see 7 different guys have been able to do that this evening.
Only Marquise Williams did it twice, both on the ground. So after the touchback, 1:16 left, and Liberty has the option of kneeling this one out and taking the 2-hour trip back to Lynchburg, Virginia. And they have a new quarterback in as well, do the Flames. Going to be Stefan Masha, a redshirt freshman out of South Cobb High School in Georgia.
Joshua Smith on the carry.
And another running back, Joshua Smith, takes the carry. The redshirt freshman out of Arlington, Texas, will run it for 2 yards. The FCS schedule can be a meat grinder as well, and if you can get into their playoffs, 20 teams make that bracket, so you can get 4 or 5 games depending on if you're not one of the teams that moves automatically into round 2. And you and I have both done FCS playoff games. That is a grind. That's some good football, though.
Great football, but they lose a couple of teams to the FBS.
Right.
When you look at App State, Georgia Southern,
and with Sun Belt.
Those are two very quality teams that have won championships, that have played for championships often, and they're mainstays in the FCS playoffs. So that opens the door for other teams like Liberty to get a foot in the door and start making noise in that division of football.
But Liberty has made no bones about the fact they would love to be an FBS school as well. I was on their campus in 1999, and having been back recently, it doesn't look the same. The facilities there have been grown tremendously up there in Lynchburg, Virginia. And that's going to put the wraps on the very first meeting between Liberty and North Carolina. The Flames showed well in the first half, even taking a lead in the third quarter. But a 4-touchdown third quarter by the Tar Heels proved too much for the Flames to overcome. And the 23rd ranked North Carolina squad wins its opener 56-29. One thought on each of these teams, sir.
North Carolina, Williams is as advertised.
Yes.
Very effective with the run. He has to continue to work on progressing as a passer. Woodrum, he showed flashes of great play. I think he needs to get away from identifying his receiver early. He needs to go through his progressions. Abner showed an ability to get outside, to run in between the tackles. I think sky's the limit for both of these ball clubs.
We had questions coming into week 1. We got a few answers. Larry Fedora's club rolls big on opening day 2014. They will host San Diego State next weekend here at Kenan Stadium. For Forrest Connolly and Jim Allen, our entire ESPN3 crew, I'm Ryan Rose, saying so long from Chapel Hill. The final score 56-29. For a replay of this entire game, go to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app.